All right. Welcome to a Friday night live show. You might not be watching this live, and hopefully this is an evergreen video. There is some stuff I wanted to talk about tonight. Obviously, based on the title of this video, you know why you're here. She's not yours. It's just your turn. I want to jump right into that as soon as possible. Basically, I saw a video today, content creator. I don't agree with a lot of things he says. I'm not going to dog him. I think he's young and he just has a lot to learn still. But he brings up some points, and I'm going to break it down. We do have a panel tonight as well, but I do want to take some time to really go into this. It's not going to be an article heavy stream tonight. We're not going to do a bunch of videos or anything like this. But this is, I guess we'll just jump into it. Let me bring the guys on the panel first, and then we'll go from there. Let me see who is on the panel tonight. If there's any last minute join-ins. No, we are full house right now. So I'll bring them on. We just short introductions tonight. I'm going to basically pop you all on the screen here. Crusader Nate, how are you doing this evening, sir?
As usual, living the dream.
Yes, sir. We've got MGTOW Mando in the house as well. How are you doing?
Oh, mayhem, chaos, and confusion, a.k.a. a work week.
Yeah, Monday to Friday. All right. Jackal, the Emperor. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Dead, still here and waiting for God to give me the green light to leave, as usual.
Fair enough. We do have Billy Von Baum in the house, which, by the way, before you even say anything, Billy, that countdown was done by Billy. I simply gave him a couple ideas, and then he took it and created everything else. Did an amazing job. Really happy with how that looks and feels. Really cool. You guys in the chat, by the way, if you like it, let us know in the comments. Also, before I have you say anything, Billy, please head over to billyvonbaum.com to check out all of his work. He's on YouTube as well. He does some stuff on MGTOW.tv, which I think you guys would appreciate. He does movies on the weekends, some pretty good stuff. And then he has the New Old Show, I think every other Wednesday on the YouTubes. So correct me if I'm wrong, Billy, but how are you doing this evening?
I'm at like 50%. I'm really beat. This week killed me.
I hear you.
So
I
wasn't even chatting on Pop's stream last night. I was just so beat. But I'm
Yeah.
here.
I can relate to that, and I think a couple of us on the panel can as well. Yeah, it's been a fucking week. I don't know what it is, but there's definitely something in the air. Sean St. George is also with us. How are you doing, sir?
Tired.
Well, that's everybody on the panel.
Feeling like Billy.
Hey, I was tired, but at least I still got a bullshit report done in less
There you
than an
go.
hour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good job.
Oh, yeah, that see, it's your rushed ones that always turn out good. By the way, just a sound check. Somebody has a fan or something running in the background. If you want to sort that out, if you got a noise gate, just turn that up a little bit. But Jackal, your work in the bullshit reports, which if you haven't already seen them, Jackal, do you have them on your own channel yet?
It's on my Odyssey channel. I don't even think my Rumble has even been approved yet. That's weird.
Gotcha.
Also, I think it may be my fan. Are you hearing it now?
Yeah, it is your fan, but that's okay. We can sort that in a minute.
Let me
But
turn that down.
On Odyssey, what's the name of your channel so they can find you?
Jackal the Emperor, one word.
All right. There you go. Once you get your Rumble up, we'll check you out over there. But in the meantime, you can find him on Thursday nights on Redonkulous, Terrence Pop's show there. He does the bullshit report. And when he does it rushed, when he's got like an hour to get it done, it turns out phenomenal. I especially like the little Predator reference at the end with the fart nuke. That was fantastically done. So very good, sir. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. And we'll be getting into some stuff. But thank you all for joining the panel tonight. And we will go from there. I do have a video I want to pull up and break down for you guys. Again, some of the things he says in here, there's a reason I want to break it down. I think I know what he's trying to say. Not going to speak for him, but I can understand where he's coming from. So we're going to break that down, review that, and then maybe talk about statistics and data like we usually do. But I'm not going to point you at a million articles tonight. It's going to be a discussion more than anything. Let me check out chat really quick before we get into that. Yes, new intro. I hope you guys like it. Let's see what we have in the chat here. Again, at some point, we are starting to grow an audience. I'm going to try my best to read chats. If I leave you out, it's not intentional. But we are getting to the point now where there's a lot going on in chat, and I'm not sure who's who and who's talking to who. So we do have the ability to super chat over on MGTOW.tv and Rumble. If you do send a super chat there, I will make sure to read those before the end of the show. Oh, yeah. Also, you can find me on all my platforms. If you don't want to watch on YouTube, you can find me on redpillrhino.com. Also, another wonderful product of Billy over here. He put that together. So thank you so much, sir. Billy is really the backbone of a lot of these channels. If you guys don't know that, he does a lot of the deep fakes. He does the intermissions for a lot of shows, including ours. He does the Cougar Hunting Academy. He does all the fun stuff. So again, if you guys are not checking out Billy, I'm putting him up on a pedestal here tonight.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm so low energy tonight.
No, it's fine. It's just you really fucking deserve credit because there's stuff you do that just I don't know how you do it, and it's fantastic work, sir. So let's get into this chat here really quick, and then we'll move on. I don't want to completely ignore you guys over here. Let's see. Tom Davis to start off. Okay, this is far. This is too far. Almost professional even. I am trying. Definitely. This is going into year number 2. I believe could be this week is year number 2 with the rebrand. So I'm trying to up my game a little bit, get more of a theme going here, and take it a little bit more professionally from here on out. If we can keep Jackal from changing his thumbnails in this stream, that would be a step in the right direction. We'll see if that works, though. Hopefully, he just got
so no snide remarks or jokes about you being number 2.
No. That's fine. The granny jokes aren't going to stop. The cougar hunting thing isn't going to stop either. So it is what it is.
Number 2.
Well,
yes.
You know what's funny, Nate?
Yeah.
You know, I got paid to do something right, as you may know. And I was going to allegedly, yes. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do it. But then, I received something in the mail. I was like, well, I have to finish it now. I've been kind of called out. So
what?
Yeah. Well, we'll just see on the next New Old show. Although I don't know if I'll be able to get it all done for this week.
Well, like I said, no rush. And after our conversation, it sounds like you have some wonderful ideas for our community. So I have to answer to. I was sent a video of myself and Thumper being roasted. So, I have to answer that.
Interesting.
And they sent a video in
You're
the mail?
surprised, Rhino? Is Rhino surprised?
No, I am kind of surprised because you guys are off the radar of the drama.
Acting. That's some great
acting. No. I'm serious. Like you guys are not involved in the Manosphere drama, so it is a little shocking that somebody's calling you guys out.
Oh no, it's a roast.
Okay, a roast. Okay, that's
like
different.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was drama. I'm like, oh, fuck here.
No, not drama. A roast, but it needs to be answered.
I'm not even on the radar to be roasted.
All right. On that note, let's get back into this chat here.
Probably.
Dr. Ginger Hamster. I don't know who that could be. Good to see you, Hamster. Let's see. At Seriously Podcast, but do we have to have 1,000-year intro? I don't know how long his intros are. I've actually never seen the intro part of his show.
I think he's talking to you about your.
Well, if he's talking to me, he said Seriously Podcast. That's a whole different show. But if it were up to me, we'd do 30-minute intros. So, it's probably good. It's only 4 minutes. Let's see. Jimmy Bones is just in time, apparently. So there's that. Seeing if there's anything else in the chat. Yeah, Sean St. George. Nightmares or dreams too. Yes. MGTOW forever. Good to see you here. Let's see. Seriously Podcast is in the background. So yes, he is in the house tonight. That is Ike, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Go check out his channel as well. Good times over there. MGTOW Outlaw. What up, gents? Good to see you, sir. And we'll move right along through here. Tom Davis. Here we go. Now get back to bash on RPR for ignoring the chat like Jimmy does. Well, there's the certain Jimmy Bones that doesn't know what his chat is. but that's a different topic. Well, he can answer for it right here if it'll work. There we go. No, ignoring chat is my shtick at Tom Davis. LOL, Rhino doesn't ignore his base like a good content creator. I try. Anyway, there are nights where we have a huge workload of articles to get through, and I don't have the time necessarily, but I do make time when I can. All right, Tom Davis. Jimmy, I know that. I'm busting Rhino's balls tonight instead of yours. Well, that's what we're here for, right? Seriously Podcast. Again, go check out his channel. I'm promoting him because he's fucking awesome. He was on late on our last stream, which was 2 weeks ago now because I took a week off. But if you want to check that out, go back to the last stream I did and then check out his channel for more. Let's see. Felting around. Gee, I wonder who that could be.
Can I interrupt?
Go ahead.
Quick? So
yeah, go ahead.
So I did watch your videos. It would be fun to see an updated version of the now of what's happening. So that's my opinion on that. Let's see some updates.
There you go.
He did these videos like 15 years or something ago. These pilots that he talked about on the interview I did with him. And I'd love to see like a remake of what's happening now with these guys.
Oh yeah.
That's my opinion on it.
There you go. So Ike, there's some ideas for your channel there. Okay, I think I've gotten through the YouTube chat for the most part. I do try to decipher who is talking amongst themselves and who is talking to me. So if I missed you, I am sorry. But there's a lot of conversation in there. Sometimes I miss something. Let's see. MGTOW is not showing anything right now, but let me refresh and see if it's missing something. Nothing yet on MGTOW. Over on Rumble, we have one comment from Calebon. Good to see you over there. 14 watching currently on Rumble. Hopefully those numbers go up. I would prefer you on Rumble than YouTube because YouTube sucks. Hello, Rhino. Your retirement home raider. Your retirement home raider. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here. I'll be here all night. Okay. So on that note, I do have
bumper.
Yes.
You need like the Indiana Jones music.
If we only knew someone who could do that.
This is what I have to deal with, a fucking full panel of fucking clowns here. All right. Some of you might might know this content creator. Some of you might not. Some of you might like him. Some of you might totally disagree with him. That's not the purpose of bringing this video on tonight. I'm not here to bash him. I'm not here to praise him. I'm simply here to react to his content. So I'm going to bring that on. Let me stop this screen and pop that one in. Share screen. Let's see. There it is. Oh, wait. No, that's not it. Okay. So this is a gentleman by the name of Casey Zander. Okay. I will tell you my personal opinion. There are some things that some of the content creators do in general that are very heavy on give me money, and I'm not a fan of that. Like I said, I can probably tell you everything in those programs for free. Aside from that, though, he brings up good points. So we're going to get into that. I think audio should be on, but let me verify. If you guys can't hear it, let me know. He kind of jumps right into this, and he's doing the lounge chair thing. Whatever, that's fine. I don't care. But here we go.
Okay, today I'm going to be giving some harsh truths and some conclusions that I've came to after dating dozens and dozens of women over the past 12 to 18 months. Okay, this video might be a bit of a shocker. And
keep in mind, I will be stopping this frequently for fair use purposes. But one thing I want to point out about him, I believe he's 25 or 26, something like that. So, 18 to 25, 26. He's had some experience in the dating market, but I mean, personally, I think he's probably a high value enough man to where he can get a good amount of female attention. But he hasn't even gotten started yet. And he's still technically in his dick thinking years. So that does change things in my opinion, but let's hear him out here. Because there were some things. This one video gave me enough for an entire stream, so we'll go from there.
And this video is also not a how-to in any way, shape, or form. Okay, it's like 9 a.m. and I just woke up. Thought I'd add the light for some extra ambiance for all of you watching this. And I wanted to give my honest take because truthfully, what I believe after being in a long-term, like one-to-one monogamous exclusive relationship for a couple years, and then after transitioning out of that and now being single for like 12 to 18 months and dating dozens and dozens of women.
Okay. First of all, let's talk about that. So let's say I'm going to guess 26 right now. If he was dating a woman around his age, it's completely speculation on my end, but she probably just hit her epiphany phase. I'm not sure who left who, but it would be my guess that she may have left him. I can't confirm against speculation, but he is about that age where that's where women start changing their mind, whether they want the alpha Chad or the beta provider. And we might be seeing him going through his phase where he's trying to figure out dating in general. But what he's about to say here, we're going to break it down. It's absolutely true, but I want you to bear with me because some of the things he's going to say, you never want to do. And as far as dating 12 women at a time or dozens and dozens, as he says, spinning plates is definitely a viable option, but I will warn you for the record that spinning plates does have its consequences as well. When you start juggling a bunch of women and when you start getting involved with a bunch of women, let's just say it takes a lot more of your time than you should be spending on it. I'm not saying don't spin plates. You do want to be in an abundance mindset. Just understand that it can be quite messy. And also you have to take emotion completely out of it. It's you got to be at Cougar Hunter level 10. But I'm kind of serious, man, because you're looking at it as a numbers game. You're not looking at it. Say that again, Checkle.
If only we knew someone that was.
Yes. Right. No, we don't know anybody like that.
Right.
No, but you have to completely take emotions out of this. It's simply getting to know these women, seeing if they're a good fit, vetting them. If one of them falls off, if you find interesting medicines in her cabinet, if she has 12 cats already, if she has a dozen or so men under her belt, things like that. These plates fall off, and you just have to be.
Does she have nuclear missile launch codes hidden under her bed?
I don't think any woman I've ever experienced has missile launch codes in her bed. Yeah, well, yes.
What I'm getting at is if she's got files under her mattress, that's the equivalent of nuking a guy's life.
Yes.
Or the fact that she has more than a dozen personalities.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a.
That could be one is a warning sign.
We're going to get back into this now, but yes, there is that to be said. When you are spinning plates, I wouldn't suggest sleeping with dozens of women, which is probably what he's trying to say there. I don't recommend that. The chance of slipping one by the goalie, for those of you that don't know and don't watch Pop regularly, we're talking about pregnancy. That goes up in risk factor when you're sleeping with multiple women. And also, STDs are a real thing, and some of them aren't curable, so keep that in mind. I don't recommend fucking everything in town just because you can. Bad idea. But let's see what he has to say here.
Women, here's what I can tell you. What I found is it is far better to be the side guy than it is to be a woman's main guy.
I didn't even have to get far before I had to stop. Now, don't take that at face value. Somebody out there just heard this guy get out of bed, get on the internet, and make a video and be like, oh, I should just be a side piece and be the guy that is the guy she's cheating with. And no. No, some of those guys have shotguns and short tempers. Don't push your luck. Don't be a side piece. Mm-hmm. What he's saying is going to be relevant here in a minute. It's not good to be a side piece. I'm going to let him speak for himself so you understand where I'm coming from. That's a metaphor. Let's call that a metaphor. That is not specifically what he means. Never be a side piece. Gentlemen, if you're a side piece, you're fucking up. You're always going to be second fiddle, and that is not something that you want to be. But anyway, he makes a point here. Let's hear him out.
Okay, and I'm going to explain why. Once again, I I don't give a fuck how this video comes off, because you need to actually understand the truth here. Okay.
You should kind of care how your video comes off, sir, but I get your point.
When you invest monogamously and exclusively into a modern woman, what you're going to notice is that they respect you less and less, despite you having to be there and perform at a higher level.
Okay. This is where I want to start tearing this down. And gentlemen, I do want your opinions, more than just your opinions, maybe your experiences on the panel. What you'll notice, I'm going to full screen for just a minute. Hang on. What you'll notice when you date any woman, is it starts off wonderful, right? The whole "she loves me, she's different" is a thing. And they're very good at convincing you. Some might call it love bombing. That's usually a term used in narcissism. And I'm not suggesting that all women are narcissists, but well, anyway, moving on.
They're very good at just now.
Yes, they're very good at convincing you that you are their world, that you're special, that you check off all their boxes, and that you're their one and only, and they want you more than anything. They're very good at that in the beginning.
There was a book written a few years back, and I believe it's in the first 10 pages. There's a phrase that says, "All warfare is based on deception." I'm not saying
Sun Tzu.
Yeah.
Art of War. Yes.
I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on in situations like this, but I think it can relate.
Yeah.
So, and additionally, if you're sticking your peg D in random holes wherever you can find them, is that a wise decision to be making? No. Is that something that you should be out sticking what where and just seeing what happens? That's going to end badly for you.
I'm gonna put my dick in everything today.
If only you had the soundbite of gonorrhea. No.
I mean, would you if you were in a lake, a small lake, or in a stream, and you found a hole in a sandbar? Would you drop your drawers and stick your peg D in that hole in the sandbar, just waiting to see what's in there?
No, don't be so
crazy, but I'm not going to do that.
I actually knew a couple guys that did do that, and it was not a good experience.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, let's move right along here. Tom mentions here spinning plates is like the worst idea unless it's only 2 at a time. Even then, it's not a smart thing. Well, I will actually argue your point a little bit. And yes, I did put it on the screen right away. Take my wooden fist. Look, I would say you're safe. And again, you've got to have some skill about this. I would say 5 at a time is about the maximum, I would say, in my opinion, in my experience. But you also have to be forthcoming, which means, yes, I am dating other women. And they need to know it. They don't need to know every detail, but you need to be clear. Yes, I'm dating other women. For one, that's pre-selection. If you haven't already checked out The Rational Male, I'm not a salesman. I don't get paid, but you can find it on Audible and Amazon. It's written by Rollo Tomasi. Very good book. But I highly recommend you're very open about dating. Now, you might think, well, that's going to chase them off. Yeah, sure. It'll chase off the ones that... Yeah, it'll chase off a couple, but it'll chase off the ones you don't want anyway. The fact that you're open about dating other women, you don't have to say sleeping with you. That's none of their damn business, but I am seeing other women. We are going on dates, yes. That's pre-selection. Now she knows that other women desire you and want to be with you, and that makes them try harder to get you. So I would say you're safe with up to 5, but if you're sneaking around and keeping it like not telling him and playing games like that, no, it's not going to work. But no, I would say 2. I mean, if you're a starter, sure, just try 2. But I almost disagree completely with 2 because you're going to want to see what options you have and keep them in rotation. By the way, if you have 5 and 3 fall off, replace them with 3 more. If you can do it. And I know some of you are probably watching and go, what the fuck? I can't even get 1 date. What are you talking about? Well, that's a whole different video we can get into in the future.
Yeah, you literally just read my mind, and we're not even in the same time zone.
Yes. So Like I said, that's something we can discuss in the future, but that takes time, practice, effort, confidence, experience. There's a lot more that goes into it. But once you start rolling that ball, it's pretty easy to keep it going. All right, let's see. No Eskimo brothers for me, Mr. E. Understood. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Tom Davis over here saying, "All right, Jordan Peterson. I know. Don't ever give me that much credit. This thing barely works most of the time."
Yeah, your voice isn't high pitched enough.
Yeah, there's that too. I feel like I have a higher pitched voice than him. That's just my head, maybe. Tom Davis, no reason to stick your dick in anything but a duly purchased masturbation device. All right, MGTOW Outlaw, Linky Poo. That's to join. I imagine. Sure, we could have a MGTOW guy on the panel. MGTOW Outlaw, please check Gilded for that. I know you're on Gilded. Go over to Gilded. It's gonna just scroll up in the group chat and find the link there. I'll add you if you find it. I'm not going to post it publicly tonight, just because I want to keep us.
I'll drop it in Gilded.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Drop it in Gilded if you can. Okay. So where was I at? I wish I could rewind the video. What's that?
Plates.
Spinning plates. No, before.
Plates.
Actually, I got a plan. Before spinning plates, right before we were talking about. Hang on, I'm going to rewind this a couple seconds, see if it jogs my memory.
Higher level. So if you take a look at all the things that a man has to bring to the table in order.
That didn't help me at all. I don't know. There was something important I was talking
guy
about.
versus main guy.
No, it was after that. See, now this is why tangents always fuck me up. Trying to be professional, but yet my brain is a squirrel brain. So when we get onto another topic, I go,
better to have a squirrel brain than a squirrel bladder.
Well, I have both, so it's complicated. It's a hard life.
It's okay. MGTOW Outlaw will bring his squirrel waffle with him when he gets there.
Not tonight. No squirrel waffles or dogs or cats. We're gonna try to do a fairly professional show the best we can. St. Louis Arch says love bombing is a BPD thing as well. If you don't know, that's borderline personality disorder. That one, if you're spinning plates and come across that, drop that plate. You'll notice it right away. The love bombing is intense and it's quick. So what in a narcissist, it could take several weeks to months to go through the cycle of love bombing, abuse, discarding, and so forth and so on. With a borderline personality disorder, that can happen in minutes. And if you date that woman, it will still happen within minutes. And that's a roller coaster ride I don't wish anybody to take. Back to what I was trying to say. I'm going to see if I can just finesse my way through this. I don't think spinning plates on its own is inherently bad. I do think sleeping with every woman you can just because you can is a mistake. Ultimately, you're trying to vet to pick one if you are going down that route. And again, I want you to understand, MGTOW might be a little bit different because a lot of those guys are just done with women. But I am not claiming to be nor advocating for MGTOW monkdom. I'm simply telling you if you're going to date, and most of you want to, most of you are, or at least have thought about it, I'm just going to tell you the cautionary tales and hopefully help you avoid some of those pitfalls. But getting back into this, the whole it's just your turn. We're going to get into that and what he's talking about and why side piece plays a role in this. That is where I think I left off. When you're in a relationship for a period of time, a woman will start to devalue you. Okay. That is where I was, thinking back on where we were in the conversation. When you first meet a woman, she's great at, and this goes back to the love bombing. She's great at making you feel like you're everything to her. And that's to get you. Once she has you and you're locked into that relationship, and heaven forbid you have cohabitated, which I don't recommend for at least a year if you're going to do it. Some men are going to say golden rule, no marriage, no cohabitation, whatever. Just keep in mind, no cohabitation means she has two things. A sense of mystery about you, which is going to keep her connected, but also knowing her options are open. It's really easy to invite other men into her life. So it's a double-edged sword. It's your choice whether you want to cohabitate or not. But when you decide to cohabitate, you had better have vetted her well enough to know this relationship is going somewhere further than just short and long term, so to speak. But before we get into this video anymore, I do want to point out, and gentlemen, jump in at any time if you have any points to add. That's why you're here. So feel free to cut me off. But what you'll notice is when you get into a relationship, over a period of time, she'll chip away at you. And some of it's shit testing. And if you're not aware of shit testing, there are entire videos out there in the Manosphere that talks about that. There are specific examples they give you and everything. But long story short, shit testing is basically seeing if you are going to act in a manner that shows you are not the best sexual option for her or whether you are. And some of those will be as simple as testing to see if you'll do what she wants.
Well,
And-
let's make it even simpler than that. It's a female version of a psyop.
Well, okay. For those of you in the military would maybe understand that. But what was I saying? A woman will shit test you to see if you'll bend to her will, do what she wants. If you do that, you failed the shit test. I know that sounds ironic because you're wanting to please this woman and make her happy. No. Mental point of origin, gentlemen. You want to be in yours, not in hers, which means, and Rolo actually cleared this up, and I'm going to reaffirm that. It means you're putting yourself first. Okay? Bottom line, you are always number one. Otherwise, you are no good to anyone. That's how I look at mental point of origin. So when you're dating, you need to be the focus. She is the complement. Bottom line. Okay? But through the course of the relationship, she will wear you down. Little things, tiny things. And I'm going to point out an example. It's an irritating one. And some of you have probably been in relationships like this. You ever set the thermostat and then she has to go and fuck it? That's a small example. She'll wear you down through little things. It'll be little things like that over time. She keeps doing and doing and doing. And if you ever make the mistake of arguing about it and not just doing what you need to do about it, she'll slowly lose respect for you over a period of time. Your engagement with her behaviors and shit tests will actually cause her to lose attraction and respect for you. Ironic, but true. So let's get back into what he has to say here. Before we do, gentlemen on the panel, anything to add to that?
You want me to discuss anything? Because I've been in spinning blade situations. So
yeah. Jump on in.
As I've covered on the pop interview I did, I went a bit off the rails after my divorce, and I was one girl on Friday, different girl on Saturday, and different girl on Sunday. And I can tell you right now, you just waste so much time and so much effort. You begin to live your life for everybody else except for you. And it's almost like being married again to a person who doesn't appreciate you, because you're not doing things for you, because you can't just look, unless you're with, total trash wars, you're not just slamming them and sending them home. You're having to go to dinner, or you're gonna have to go to the the farmer's market, or wherever the fuck she wants to go to, right? And it's never going to be something that you want to do, almost never, right? So you're just back at the point of living your life for somebody else, or several somebody else's, just to get some strange. And believe me, it sounds great from the get, hey, it's almost like no rules. I could be with this person this day, this person that day. It sounds like the ultimate fucking dream. Well, let me tell you, it wears thin after a while. Trust me when I say this.
I absolutely agree.
My most recent ex-girlfriend did the same nonsense to me multiple times. There were a couple of holidays that we were supposed to go and visit my mom, and my girlfriend decided, I have a migraine, or I'm sick, or my snake died and I don't want to be around anyone else right now. And yet miraculously, all of a sudden, she wanted to go visit her grandparents right afterwards.
Yeah. That was a couple points in your relationship where she was making it clear that you were supposed to say, pack your shit. But I'm sure you learned that later.
Can I just add one more point?
Yes, sir.
So I don't think this stuff is going to change, because unless the way that people are operating within this, Western society are going to change anytime soon. Because it's my opinion that the reason that she gets tired of you and she starts looking for side pieces and all this other stuff is because there's been a degeneration of morality, right?
Yeah.
It used to be that morality used to hold people in place.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna actually address a lot of that later on in the stream.
Okay.
But you're absolutely right. Let me, guys, in case I forget, hold me accountable. There's a couple things I want to address on this show tonight. Some of you, one of you, any of you, hold me accountable so we don't forget this. First, in the chat, Mr. E says, MGTOW point of view, telling her no at the start will get her wet. Correct. Telling her no later will dry her up. Halfway correct. Only if you've stepped out of your masculine frame at any point, which is really easy to do on a bad day. You can't. You just fucking can't step out of your frame ever, or what he said becomes true. If you've held frame, which is much more difficult than being single, I will tell you that. But if you hold your frame throughout the relationship, and if that's 20 years, that's 20 years that you have to hold frame and be on this constant alert at all times. Otherwise, yes, what he said becomes true. If she sees weakness in you, suddenly you showing your authority in the relationship will lead to the Sahara Desert. Absolutely. Now, what I was saying is that I want to cover pair bonding. I want to talk about the number of sexual partners a woman has in a relationship and the correlation to her to be able to pair bond. I also want to point out that's the main one I want to discuss. We'll get into the other one later. But as far as the morality, that is something I want to discuss as well. And that would go into, we've got so much ground to cover, and I've got a lot on my mind tonight. So hopefully we can get through it without too many waffles on the side. But Jimmy's not here, so I'm assuming we'll be fairly waffle free tonight. I'm giving you shit, man. But I do want to also discuss the fact that the older generation. So, okay, just discuss it now really quick. Men, as you can see in the space, you've got a lot of men that are willing to help out the younger generation from making the same mistakes they did. Okay. What you'll see with women is as they get older, their sexual options dry up, and the men in their age bracket are now dating younger women. An interesting thing to note about this is the older women are, what's the right word for it?
Livid?
No, not livid, threatened. They are threatened by the fact that the younger women are now replacing them. The older women will not give the younger women advice how to do things right. If anything, they'll lead them into the same trap they went into. Yep. And more importantly, they will walk young girls who could become a strong family unit wife with children and all that. They'll lead her to OnlyFans if they can. They will keep, there's a herd.
Hang her up on the whore tree.
They have herd mentality. It's groupthink with them. And if they can lead one woman down the wrong trail, they'll lead all of them if they can. Just think of an easy example. If you remember 2005 to 2010-ish, there was a trend that went around the internet called duck face. And suddenly every woman on the internet was doing duck face. Or even, again, the same period, you had like that emo haircut where they all did the weird feathery haircut. They all did it. Every one of them was doing it. There's groupthink. Now with OnlyFans, now this is 2020 and up, although OnlyFans was started a little bit earlier, but during the pandemic, a lot of women were getting on OnlyFans. And what you notice is they were all telling each other to do it. And to this day, if you pay attention to forums, if you look around, you'll see when one woman says, I'm thinking about 20 other women that are already on OnlyFans will encourage her and tell her and guide her and walk her into it, knowing full well that she's miserable, lonely, can't keep a man, can't find a man. She'll still lead her sisters into that trap because misery loves company, and women are definitely similar to crabs in a bucket. They will pull each other down instead of building each other up. So there you go. That goes into the morality of things. And Billy, we'll get back into that, but it's hard when women are now encouraged by society, by music, by TV, by their peers, other women, to behave immorally. And and I really want to cover this later, but I feel like I'm going to forget. So I'm going to touch on it and we'll roll back into it. One of the main things that gets overlooked is biology. Let me just break this down for you really quick. It's all going to apply back in the video we're reacting to anyway. Men don't have the same pair bonding thing going on that women do. And let me address this really quick. We'll break it down and get back to the reaction. Men, from pretty much puberty till the time they die, are capable of breeding. Okay. And they're encouraged through their biology to spread their seed as far and wide as they can. So when a man commits to a single woman, he is giving up sexual selection. When he does so, he makes a heavy investment into that one woman to bring his seed into the world. In doing so, he gives up sexual selection, as I said, but he also makes a deep commitment to her. I would say much stronger than women make to men. A man commits on a much deeper level. Again, giving up his sexual options is a big thing. On women's end, they, from puberty to, I would say safely, probably around 28. Some people are going to say 30. Some people are even going to go as high as 35. I'm going to say 28. Okay. That's my number. Picked it out of a hat. If you want to argue with me later, feel free to drop the actual number in redpillrhino@hotmail.com. We can discuss it in a further episode. But I would say your fertility window begins to close and you start having complications after about 28. Now, that being said, a woman is biologically wired to find the best sexual option in her 20s. Her brain is therefore set up different. When a man commits to a woman, there is a level of pair bonding that happens. The oxytocin, the serotonin, everything else does play a role in sexual intercourse, him having a bond with her. Again, there's a 48-hour window on that, which suggests sexless marriages are the number one reason for divorce, realistically, because that bond is being broken down every time they're not intimate over that period of time. But getting back to the main point, women are wired to form a deep connection with their sexual best partner during intercourse. Now, that wires their brain to pair bond, which means to commit long-term to this man so that he can provide, provision, protect her and her offspring. The problem is women have an issue that men don't, and that is roughly around 5 sexual partners. The brain is no longer wired to want one partner. It is wired to want repeated partners over and over and over again. And this actually is a physical rewiring of the structure of your brain in women specifically after about 5 sexual partners, which unfortunately, the scary thing is a lot of women are already over those 5 partners before they're 18 right now, which means right out of the gate, most women in the West anyway, in Western culture, which is not just the United States, but European countries, Australia, anything that is Western in its way of thinking, a lot of these women are not able to pair bond right out of the gate at 18. That's not all, fortunately, but that is enough to where we have a serious problem. Because once they no longer pair bond, their ability to commit without serious reevaluation of their life, and in some cases, actual therapy, it's like an addiction. It's no different than being addicted to a drug. Once you've broken that pair bonding mechanism in the brain, they crave new relationships, and they're going to use hypergamy to replace you unnaturally. Now, and I said I was going to cover this later, but I might as well get out of the way now. What you also have in society is 4 billion options. If you want to break it down, half the population of the world is men. So roughly 4 billion men are out there right now. And she has all of them in her pocket on her phone. That's, again, part what I would go back to what Billy was saying. In our society, you can be committed to one man, devalue him over time, lose respect for him over time. You open your phone and there's a hot guy from Cancun that has invited you out for the weekend. Maybe you go. Maybe he's the hottest sex you've ever had in your life. And suddenly, well, that 12-year marriage doesn't matter anymore. You see, that's another part of the problem. we have a global sexual marketplace right now. It's not the girl down the street, you meet her, you get married, whatever, and that's it. She now has the entire male population in her pocket at any time. Snapchat, Instagram, all the dating apps, you name it. So we're looking at that.
To travel and the ability to communicate has expanded over like just our lifetime to an exponential degree because you might be able to call somebody from the next town over, arrange a date. But now with the internet, I mean, it's international.
Yeah. Yeah. And that,
well, there's a lack of religious morality too. They don't think that there's any consequence to anything they do.
No. So, and even, there is a religious aspect to it. Again, I kind of defer to each person's beliefs on that one. I try not to get too heavy into that, but I can see a lack of religious discipline does lead to the promiscuity as well. The main thing, though, is, again, all women will shit test you. All women will eventually devalue you. Most women have had, I'm going to let Crusader, I want you to jump in a second. Most women will have more than 5 sexual partners before you meet her. Pair bonding is already diminishing. Crusader, jump on in.
Oh, well, I don't need a special invite here.
Yes.
But statistically speaking, men account for 50.5% of the world population, and women currently account for 49.5% of the population. So there are more men than women. So there is a scarcity mindset among men when it comes to women, globally speaking. Now, this is a topic that can run very deep when we're talking about oxytocin, when we're talking about norepinephrine, when we talk about serotonin and dopamine releases within the brain. All of those neurotransmitters are released and actually have an impact on an isotopic level, which you can literally count the number of isotopes of dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, oxytocin within a person's brain. You increase, go ahead.
Crusader, I actually want you to jump in on this because you're talking about it right now. So we'll throw it on the screen. Tom Davis says, I'm not accepting the pair bonding argument anymore. I think it's a total bullshit excuse. Elaborate on that, Crusader, because I mean, there's science to back this. Why don't we talk about that as well?
Well, I don't want to get way too deep in the weeds and like drive everybody out of here and hear the dot matrix printer going on all over the world. But generally speaking, oxytocin is a hormone that's produced by the hypothalamus within the brain that actually is released into the bloodstream and affects the pituitary gland, which mainly functions the facilitation of childbirth in women, which is a biological imperative for the human survival drive within people to allow speciation continuance. What that means is you are compelled. Imagine having the compulsion to do something in order to live. That is the foundation of that. And when you break that isotopic level, I mean, you could have like 2 or 3 isotopes of it in your system, and that will actually 1, 2, or 3 will actually improve, impair, or drive you to do certain things. It will create a compulsion within you on that small of a level. And much like the easiest way to explain it is much like the production of insulin by the pancreas to create functional and operable insulin for your body to process sugars. If you actually take and manipulate that isotopic level of something as simple of oxytocin, you break the body's, you create a resistance to it, and you create inadequate amounts of oxytocin that will actually impair a female's operability for survival instinct to be able to pair bond.
Perfect. Now, on that note, I want you to bring this up as well. I don't think you're boring anybody in the audience. Actually, you're saying it far better than I could, so I appreciate it. But we've got a few guys in the audience. I'm not going to read the chats out loud. You can see them on the screen. But you have a few guys here. They're talking about their body count. Can you explain to us briefly how it's different between men and women in a scientific way, again, without running off the audience, but in a way that explains to these guys that their body count isn't significant as compared to women's body count? Well, that's what I want to break down.
Biologically speaking, on a fundamental level, men have always been expendable. There's a reason why, biologically speaking, the male body is capable of doing the grunt work, the hard work. We are the expendable ones. We are the ones that can go out and fight, and we are the ones that can go out and die, and the species can continue. We are biologically engineered from the ground up on the XY chromosome that you can have a tribe of 10 women and 10 men. After the end of 1 year, you can have each of the 10 women produce one offspring. You can have a village that has one man, and he can still repopulate that entire village with another 10 offspring. Now, if you have a village that has one woman and 10 men, that village will depopulate and go the way of the dodo bird in a matter of one generation.
Solid point, sir. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we carry on?
Carry on and continue. I don't want to make everybody's brain scramble at the moment.
All right, we will carry on then.
Can I'm going to tell
yes,
a
sure.
story.
Oh, story time. Okay.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not going to be like a total waffle, and you're going to be like, "What does this have to do with anything?" But I have
no
a point.
waffles.
I think I have.
You think you have a point?
I think I have a point. So my story is about a little bird. So 3 years ago, at the pandemic, I got a birdhouse, and I stuck it outside my window, and this little bird came and set up shop in the little house, and he attracted a mate. He sang these songs that were unbelievable songs that I've never heard a bird sing. And he attracted a mate. They had babies, and he was gone. Then the next year he came back. And they'd only last for like 3 weeks or so. He'd hang around.
Right.
And last year he came back twice. And then, he'd go disappear. And this year he came back. He set up shop. And today I was doing the lawn. And I had buckets out for wildlife to, drink. And I found him dead in the bucket.
Oh.
And it was kind of sad. Like, I was saddened by this. Like, oh, I'll never hear this bird make his song again. Like, even though he'd disappear for 11 months out of the year doing his bird things wherever he does.
Yeah, right.
But, he'd come back and he'd bring these beautiful songs to me for like a month. And it was just, I'll never have that again. Right. And it's, it makes me kind of sad. Right. And I believe that men feel a sadness that women, or they feel on a level that perhaps women don't necessarily feel on. Because I say this because, okay, so if my wife just fucking off and left, like after our anniversary. I never heard from her ever again. It was like, how do you do that? How do you do that stuff? And I've heard this story over and over and over and over again of these women just off and gone, and the guy's crushed,
Yeah.
And
there is something to that to be said. I'm going to jump in on that really quick.
I was going somewhere.
Well, no. I'm just going to jump in just for half a second on this. There is something about the biological imperative in women. You'll notice if a man goes to war, her husband, and he dies in battle, she's very quickly able to move on and replace him. That is something about, again, survival of the species. Crusader could probably touch on it better than I can, but it's wired into women's brains to be able to turn off those emotions and turn them on for somebody else. That's part of just female nature. But anyway, back to your story.
Well, yeah, that's basically where I was going with it. It's just that men, when they bond with a woman, right, they're giving up all that opportunity. They're suppressing their biology to be with all these women, to be with just this one, you know?
Yes.
And when she could break it like that, you know, there's just such a difference in the way that, you know, they're so different. Women are completely different than men. And to a man who goes through that, he'll be crushed, you know, to the point of, you know, committing suicides. Whereas a woman's just like, nah, I'm off now with this other guy. Like they can, it must go back to like the cavemen and all this and whatnot, where, like you said, if the guy just dies, oh, you know, she's going to hook up with the next one and not even think about it. Or if her child dies. Now, you know, I'm not saying that women don't process death and loss and whatnot. Of course they do. But I don't think it's to the degree that men do. And I've seen it like with dating. I dated a woman who was a widow, and she had lost her husband like a year prior. Yeah. I went on a date. I shouldn't say I dated her. I went on a date. And she was like over it. She was fine. Meanwhile, I have a friend of mine. He's one of my close friends. He lost his wife 5 years ago. He's still not over it. He still like talks about her. So,
and that really, I'm glad you brought all this up, because that's essentially what I'm trying to get across tonight. In general, and I'm just, if you got more to say, I'll shut up here in a second.
Good.
But
I'm good. That was my story. I hope you like my little birds.
Yeah, hang on just a second. I'll let you jump in here. But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. And it's biology. You can look into this. Again, we have the expert 30-pound brain motherfucker in the house tonight, Crusader Nate. But it's honestly true. What Billy is talking about, if you notice a man that goes through a breakup, or even worse, a divorce, even worse if he's lost custody of his children over it, a lot of men don't recover. Again, and it's exactly what he's saying. Men give up all of their sexual opportunities, so they put all their eggs in one basket to be with one woman, and they literally do put all their eggs in one basket. So when that basket says, I'm bored and I'm not happy anymore, men are crushed. Whereas women, whether the man leaves her, which is statistically low, because again, he's put all eggs in one basket, so he's not going to fuck that up. Even if it's not a happy relationship, he's still going to try to make it work, especially if there's children involved. But a woman can always keep her eggs stored for other baskets later. So when she gets bored with the basket she's got right now, she's fuck, I only lost one egg out of that. I've got 20 more eggs, and I'm not talking about fertility window. But she's always got other options in mind. She doesn't necessarily, and again, this goes to pair bonding. If she's still
It's
had
the female version of spinning plates.
Yes, if she's very low on that body count, she's more likely to want a lifetime partner. The higher that number goes, the less likely she is to be able to commit long term. Now, again, even if the low body count, it's still in her mind. She still sees other dudes as better options than you. Women have learned to either control it, or unfortunately modern women don't. They look at the abundance around them, and they are quick to throw away a future with one man that could be a good protector and provider for her family, future children, everything else. She'll throw that opportunity away for the foam cannon guy in Cancun, because he gives her the moisture, if you get what I'm saying, that maybe her husband doesn't. And that's another thing to get into in another show. Always be dating if you are in a relationship. Don't let that shit dry up, both rhetorically and yes, literally. Keep it exciting.
Well,
if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, I know Myron talks about it a lot, having a high amount of abundance, mainly because it puts the man in the mindset that if the girl they're currently seeing, or women they're currently seeing, if they are not measuring up, like you said, take those plates off and replace them with another one. Yes. Otherwise, you start getting probably simp-like behavior from guys in a relationship, because they think the current girl is their only option. It's all they'll ever get.
I have a very important thing to add to that, but first let's hear Jackal out. What do you want to say, sir?
In comparison of men to women, it's just kind of look at it like this.
women are so hardwired to go specifically by their instincts that they're more animal than human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they lose one man, say, okay, scenario, her man goes off in World War I, he dies. Okay, well, we just lost several generations, so we got to start replacing them. So
Yeah,
she can turn that off, that love for that husband that she had. She can turn that off, find another one, and start working up another family to replace all that just died. So just think of it as this way. When Billy said that men can find an appreciation, a love for something deeper than women can, it's not to make women sound dumb, but we're a little bit more intellectually in depth than they are. We look at things from a more technical perspective. We analyze things more deeply. We look for deeper meaning within something. So we create a... Go ahead.
I think it's safe to say what you're getting at is men are far more logical and pragmatic in their decision making. Women are far more emotional and perhaps irrational in their decision making. They're more impulsive, especially early on when the tingles are going on, to not necessarily make correct decisions. And long term, men are going to weigh the pros and cons of a relationship and do their best to make that relationship work, even if it's not necessarily ideal for them. Whereas women, again, thinking more on the emotional end, and that's just fact. Some of you ladies that are watching now or in the future might disagree, but it is a fact. Women that are bored in the relationship or have many other options outside, many people in their inbox, something goes wrong in the relationship and the emotion says, I can find better, I can do better, and they just kind of go on the whim. So to what you're saying, Jackal, I absolutely agree. I think men focus more on the goals, the logic, the data of the relationship and determine the return on investment of that relationship while they're in it or even pursuing it. Whereas women, it's more of the whim. I've got the tingles for them today and not tomorrow. And when I lose the tingles, especially if they've lost the ability to pair bond again, then the tingles go to the next guy. So, and it doesn't matter about the return on investment. Fuck it. I'll throw away an entire fucking family to get those tingles back. It's a shame, but it's what you're seeing in modern society.
You guys are right to a point.
Okay.
I don't know how far we want to go down this rabbit hole or if we want to reserve
what we're here
for another discussion. Women by nature innately know subconsciously they are aware of their own vulnerability. You will see behaviors in women in simple things where you'll notice something as simple as in modern day women that'll start collecting clothing. You'll notice that she'll start doing things like changing holiday decorations, things like that, collecting throw pillows, collecting towels for holidays and random things that you can't use. Those tactics are what I would call a basal survival instinct for nesting. That female is doing things that what she's trying to do is to prepare a nest for the next generation. Women are going to do these things seeking to eliminate the vulnerability they inherently have on a biological and survival instinct standard. Men pair with women on a level to where men know that they are expendable to a tribe as a whole. And if the man can leave, pair with a woman, and to create their own tribe, that man can instantly become the alpha of his own tribe. He can become the king, so to speak, of his own group. And women are driven in it's almost a subconscious compulsion among women to be able to create and to nest for them to maintain a subconscious feeling of security and stability within their own nest.
There you go. All right. Let me read a couple of these chats really quick, and then Sean, I'm going to have you give me a refresher of what you just said because my brain is going a million miles a minute here. Optimus Prime says in the chat here, I have a roster of girls, or have a roster of girls will always leave. Yes. And I would also, this is going to go back to if you haven't read The Rational Male, I strongly encourage it. Again, I don't get paid a dime to say that, but I do think it's important, especially if you're in this space, to have read, understood, taken notes, maybe read it 2 or 3 times and internalized what that has to say. If you're in a long-term committed relationship, it is very hard for me to tell you to have a roster. Okay. But you should always maintain a level of value in yourself, which is physical fitness, which is financial security, which is everything that we talk about, the 6 6s, whatever, right? You want to maintain those as best as possible so that you do still have those options, even if you don't have a roster. If you're noticing while you're in a relationship, women aren't looking at you anymore, you need to do some work. And I'm telling you, you will notice the difference. If you put in the work, you'll start noticing even in the relationship, and they might not know it. I'm not saying that you're out hanging out with your girl. I'm just saying as you're walking through the store and girls start looking at you, that means you're putting in the work and they can see the value. It's, and again, you're going to say, well, how does my finances affect that? They can't see that. Oh, yes, they can. The way you carry yourself. When you are financially stable and you've got your shit figured out, you're going to carry yourself with a level of confidence that women can automatically pick up on. So if you're not feeling or sensing or seeing that, it might be time to work on yourself, because even if you don't have the roster, because you're not single, you should still have the options because you've put in the work on yourself. Now, Sean, what were you saying a few minutes ago? Refresh my memory because I wanted to talk about it.
So about the having the abundance mindset, right?
Yes. And that,
because when you have the abundance mindset, it helps prevent you from falling into bad behaviors.
Yes.
Or what I call it simp-like behaviors, because if you think the girl you got is the only one you're ever going to get, and you're going to do the exact things that you think is going to keep her, but it's only going to force her to distance herself from you, eventually leave you, because that's where I made a lot of my mistakes.
And on that note,
over the past 20 years.
I'm going to tell you a true story. I'm going to change the names to protect the innocent. It is a recent story, and it applies to somebody I know. I don't know if he's watching tonight. I hope so, because he did buy The Rational Male in the last week, and I think that he needs to sit down and reevaluate his life a lot. And that's not talking shit about the dude. He had an interest in a girl that was close friends with him, but it became a delusion. In other words, and I'm telling you guys the story because I never want you to become this guy. He had the delusion that she was in a relationship at the time. Pretty much everybody around her knew it was a dead-end relationship, and he was hoping that when that relationship ended, that he would be given the opportunity and the chance to show her that he is what she needed. This is where the delusion sets in. He felt owed an opportunity to be with her. I'm going to talk about this because I think it's very important you guys understand, because it's easy to fall in this trap, especially if you're blue pill, especially. And some of you guys are probably watching this for the first time, again, now or in the future. And you're trying to understand what this she's not yours, it's just your turn. This is important to understand. He created a scenario in his mind in which he would be given an opportunity by her because he has all of these things to offer. He's a good guy and he wouldn't cheat and he wouldn't hurt her and he could provide for her. Now it gets more complicated than that. He decides she's going through some stuff. He decides to get an apartment and have her as the roommate while she's still in a relationship with this other guy. He's military and not really seeming to be very interested in her, kind of just putting her off as a side piece. Okay. That again is keeping all personal details out of this. But the relationship really was just kind of a banging on the weekend occasionally thing. Anyway, everybody knew he was kind of whatever. So the relationship did end, and he thought he was owed the chance. Even though she had clearly put him in the friend zone several times, he carried that delusion that once she was single, he would have his glorious opportunity. And of course, if he had paid attention, he would have realized he was in the friend zone the entire time. But that blue pill delusion will lead a man down such a dangerous road that he has, and I shit you not, and again, names will be protected here. He has been not sleeping, not eating, throwing up all night for several days now because his delusion was shattered and he had the red pill suppository shoved firmly up his ass. The only difference is a woman didn't leave him. He created an illusion in his mind that she would give him a chance. This is something I need to make clear to you guys when we talk about abundance. You cannot, will not, never will ever be able to negotiate genuine sexual desire. It does not work that way. He went so far as to say, well, you should just give me a chance anyway, even if there's no sexual stuff, just to show you that I'm a good man. That is not how this works. As a matter of fact, I will give you personal advice. If you are talking to or dating or spinning plates several women, the sexual aspect of that conversation should be early and often. You want to get her thinking about bedroom activity now, not later, not in the future, not when it's convenient. If you're not establishing her interest in you sexually, you have already lost the game. Do not convince her that you have a lot of money, that you're a great guy. Matter of fact, never pull the I'm a good guy. You say that, it's automatic that you are the shit guy. Okay.
The nice guy syndrome.
Yeah, you never have to do that. If you're an actual good guy, you never have to say it.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's been said
panel.
many times in the past. Women care about a man's future, and men care about a woman's past.
Yes. And for those of you in the audience watching that may not understand that, a woman does not care about your problems. She does not care about today. She does not care about anything to do with you right now. She waits for the winners at the finish line. She waits for the guys that already have their shit together, already have the house and the car and the fucking, the six-figure income or whatever it is. And you can, again, I think some of the guys are disingenuous in this space. They tell you have to be 6 foot and you have to make six figures. No, there are ways to compensate for that. If you're a shorter guy and you're not making six figures, your personality, your ability to, I don't know, either get her to laugh or get her aroused. I'll just be honest with you. Yes, your game is going to make those other deficiencies less noticeable, so to speak. So there are ways to overcome that. And it depends. It's a per person issue.
Make her happy to be around you.
Yes.
Get her, was it oxytocin up just from laughter or having fun, while also being able to provide the financial and physical security a man is supposed to be doing.
Yes,
exactly.
Crusader, give me a quick recap on what you just said. I'm having one of those squirrel brain moments tonight. Quick recap.
Well, a quick recap is women care more about a man's future and men care more about a woman's past. I can extrapolate on that if you would like me to.
I'm caught back up. What I'm saying is again, women want to know the man is successful. That is what she's going for. She's not going to wait for the man that is capable. She wants the man that's already gotten there. Men care about specifically, and you can extrapolate after me, but I definitely want to point this out. Men care about a woman's sexual history, and more importantly, the lack thereof. And the more the lack, the more valuable the woman in general. Please do, though, extrapolate. And then we're going to go to a break here shortly.
And I got something to add to this thought, too. So
excellent.
Well, I'll pass it on to Billy when I'm done here. And I'm going to share something that most people are going to find extremely off-putting, but it is the honest truth. People, generally speaking, on a basal level of operations, people are lazy. Women look for men that are pre-selected by other women. That's basically a sign of laziness. They're looking for somebody who has been pre-selected, which is why women look for men who are dating other women. Because if there's 6, 7, 8, 10 other women who say, this guy is worth dating and spending my time with, other women are going to look at him and say, okay, if he has 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, 18 different women all vying for this one man, he has to be, he may not be the alpha of this tribe, of this group, of this location. However, he is of high enough value that if I can secure this male will be able to provide, protect, and allow my innate subconscious vulnerabilities to be secured. So
Yes.
that is what the women want. That is where they are looking to. They're looking to fill a void within themselves subconsciously, to where they're looking to find somebody that can make them feel safe. And now men are looking for a woman who can carry, provide, nurture, and allow the next generation of humans to be able to carry on, and the men will be looking for the woman that they can guarantee that the offspring of that man and that woman are going to be his, which innately pushes the points of she has a low body count and or she has a close net for other women to help her to nest, to create a safe location for the vulnerable next generation. And that'll allow the men the potential of becoming an alpha of their own tribe further down the line. Billy, go ahead.
Hold on, Billy. I'm going to jump in really quick, and then the floor is yours. Sorry, I got to do this.
Oh, no worries.
Squirrel brain all night tonight, so bear with me. The abundance mindset, I'm going to say, is extremely fucking important. When I'm talking about the friend who shall not be named, he had a one-itis. And again, that's an extreme that I've never seen in anyone before, where they, and I mean, maybe some of you guys have, but I've never seen it, where somebody paints this white picket fence future for a woman that has put him firmly in the friend zone. I've never seen this shit before, and it might exist, but fuck, it's terrifying to watch. That's the most, it almost, when you see it going on, you think the guy is going to lose his shit completely, in the worst kind of way. And I'm not going to go into detail what I thought there, but hide the weapons, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Yeah, but that's, again, the abundance mindset is very fucking important, gentlemen. There should never be a single one of you watching right now should not have, and I know some of you are going to go, well, fuck me then. No, hear me out. In time, we can work on this. I can cover videos on this later. We can talk about this. But none of you should have 0 options. None of you should have 1 option. All of you here, if you're working on yourself, and yes, you got to do that first, maximize your yourself for the benefit of yourself, not for women. But the abundance mindset should be number 1 for you. You should know you have options. Even in a relationship, you should know you have options, and you should know at any given moment you can act on those. You shouldn't have 1 or 2 options. You should have plenty of options. As I saw earlier in the chat, I think I put on the screen, they will always replace you, right? Knowing that, it's kind of interesting as you read, for instance, and I'm going to point this out all night because I think you guys do need to check out the material if you haven't already, The Rational Male. What you're going to find in there is they talk about female nature and how women interact with men and some of the things they do. If you learn to turn that around, women always have the abundance mindset. They've got those options. Women will monkey branch, and they will act on hypergamy. If you can learn those things and adapt them into a male perspective, not so much hypergamy, but knowing that you have options and knowing that you can move to those options if she fucks up. It no longer makes you, 1, a hostage to an unhealthy relationship, but 2, if you're not dating, it makes it so you can just drop a plate, not even care, let it shatter on the floor, and continue on as if nothing fazed you. You don't have to worry about her calling and going, give me another chance. You just say, block her number and move on. You're not phased. Again, you've taken emotion out of it. It's extremely important. Otherwise, if you don't maintain that abundance mindset, again, we can talk about that in a future stream on how to get there, you'll wind up like this unnamed gentleman that I'm talking about, in which you're puking all night because you're so distraught over a friend that you tried to create a future with in your head. Don't be that fucking guy. It will fuck you up. Always know that you have 5 or more options at any given time. And that, again, goes into game and confidence building and everything else. That's another show. But we'll get there eventually. I think I do need to cover that topic. Billy, jump on in. I've talked long enough.
Well, I just want to, you guys were saying, women, they think of a man's future. This is a hard lesson that I learned about women in my relationships, are that women are very much not what you've done for them. It's what you've done for them lately, right? Guys tend to think like you've done all these things throughout the months, years, weeks, whatever. I bought her roses. I went on eBay and found that Barbie that Santa didn't bring her in 1985 and spent $500 to get it, and made her the best Christmas she ever had, and all these things that you think you're banking up and like, making the relationship stronger and whatnot. But at the end of the day, she doesn't give a fuck about any of that stuff, and she will just see you later. And you're thinking, well, all this stuff, all this time, all this investment I've put into this, doesn't that mean something?
Nope.
No. Doesn't mean fucking shit. So just bear that in mind. I'm not saying like if you get involved with a woman, don't ever do her anything nice or whatever, but just realize that like there's no banking of these nice things that you could do for somebody. I found that doesn't happen.
Yeah, to that
but
point.
How many times were we told that was the way?
Yeah. Well, that way is false, guys. My recommendation, if you're getting into a relationship or you are in one, I'll just give you a phrase that's been used in this space quite a bit, and hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. You can either love a woman or understand her. You cannot do both. So if you are invested in a relationship, as odd as it sounds, and as against, again, as mentioned in the panel, we've been taught different. Always keep her at a little bit of a safe distance here. In other words, in the event of a nuclear disaster, you are at a safe distance to get away from the destruction without being a huge, horrible mess that is drinking yourself to death later on. Always maintain that idea that you are replaceable. Even if that's a 50-year marriage, always maintain that. Okay, it's going to be much better for you in the end to have a little bit of an emotional detachment. And I know that runs contrary to what you were taught, probably, especially if you grew up on Disney and fucking any music, really, especially the country sappy shit. All of it tells you that you're just supposed to be the knight and save her and love her. And no. Maintain some kind of emotional distance. Trust me on this. And what's interesting, I'm going to let you in a little secret. Believe me or don't believe me, but watch it in action for yourself. You'll see that emotional distance will have her continue pursuing you, which gets into the point in the chat here. Mr. E says, I don't even chase my liquor with beer anymore. I'm not going to even walk after a woman now. This is something else I want to address really quick. Stays on topic. You shouldn't have to be pursuing women. Those plates you're spinning are coming and seeking you out. Now here's your initial investment. Okay. I'll be fair. I'm not going to just tell you to do the impossible. You might, however you do it, you go to the bar, you go to the Barnes and Noble, you get on Facebook, however you do it, I don't care. But you do the work, you put in the investment to talk to 100 women, to maybe establish the 5 on your plates. And keep in mind, you're going to get 95 rejections. That's part of the numbers game. You just have to accept that, not care, not get one-itis for any one of them because they're hot. Don't fucking be that dumbass. Just put it out there to your 100, get your 5, rotate those. Okay. Once you start rotating those, they should be doing the work. You don't have to do anything. They're spinning. All you're doing is just kind of keeping them up there. You're not doing any hard work. They should be pursuing you. If it's the other way around, you're not doing this right. There should never be. Here's what I'll tell you. And I mean this. And I told the guy I'm talking about with the crying and the delusion and all that. I told him, you want the woman that is willing to drive 3 hours out of her way to pay for dinner to suck your dick later. You want that woman. And he said, no, I don't. I said, no, yes, you do. You want a woman that desires you genuinely that much that she will drive out of her way and pay for the date. I see a lot of men in this space say, women never pay for anything. Well, then you're not going after the right women. They should be pursuing you. They should be interested in you. They should be buying you dinner. I'm not saying you can't buy them dinner. By all means, go for it if you want. But if she's not willing to buy you the steak dinner, throw that plate away. It's junk.
Well,
a lot of you guys sell yourself short. Yeah.
Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Denny's has the early bird
Shut
special.
the hell up.
for the older folk.
God
Okay,
damn it, I had to do it.
Let's take that lighter note a little bit further. Rhino, you
Yes,
said
sir.
that men can either love women or understand women.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is a guy like me who understands people far deeper than I probably ever should. You're saying I'm going to be single?
No. Yeah, let me answer to that. I think you're setting me up on
busting your
purpose.
chops.
I think you're setting me up on purpose. Okay, what I'm talking about is you can be in a relationship, you can care about a woman, but that love feeling, let's say your first fucking girlfriend or whatever, maybe your second and third or fourth or fifth, I don't know how many times you fucked up, but you're here now, so congratulations. You're getting your life on track. And you're listening to me, so I don't know how well that's going for you, but I hope it works out. Anyway,
For the Cougars.
no, you can. Yeah, shut the fuck up, all of you. You can be in a happy, successful relationship. You can care about her. You can love her. It's that whole, I love you. I'm not in love with you. It's kind of the same thing for men. It's like you can love her. You can care about you can care about her well-being, but you're not obsessively interested in her. Okay, you care. You care. I'll allow that. You understand her nature. You understand the shit test. You understand what she's going to do in the relationship. You don't invest so much that you are, she loves me and she's different and she's the one. If you do that, you fuck the fuck up. And that woman is going to leave you because she's going to become repulsed by you suffocating her with those feelings, by the way.
Not before running all over you and taking what she can get in the process.
Yeah, no, she will definitely. A woman doesn't date a man for his money. She divorces him for it. There you go.
Yeah.
See,
All right.
Not wrong.
I'm gonna be honest here. A lot of this sounds a lot like the paradox of job experience.
Mhm.
I mean, we've all seen those commercials or those job ads, which it's a great job. It's something that you've studied for forever. It's something that you've got all the training for, but you just don't have the experience. Yet all the so-called entry level on this need you to have experience in the field for X number of years.
Yeah. You're not wrong at all.
For some guys like me who are lucky to get 5 no's after 100, just even asking for the time of day.
Yeah.
It is the paradox of the job experience thing.
Look, it's very important, gentlemen, especially MGTOW, you bring that up. It's very important to, again, take the emotion out of it. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you guys already know this. I'm the fucking older part of the millennial generation, so I still got to see the world before the internet, but I definitely graduated with the internet in full force. MySpace existed, Facebook was coming out, all of that. I put a lot of my successes, and I don't mean, obviously, I'm not married with kids or anything. I didn't luck out in that department, or depending on some of your opinions, didn't luck out. But anyway, some of you don't believe in marriage whatsoever. By the way, I do see the other guests on the panel. We'll get them on here shortly. The thing is I made it really easy. I just used Facebook, man. I just dropped 100 messages. I'm like, hey, you're kind of cute. Want to go on a date? And I'd get, no, not interested, or left unread, or whatever the fuck it is. And you'd get the 5, and then you'd go out and you'd hang out. It's really fucking not that hard. I don't recommend dating apps. I think that is where you meet a lot of people with mental issues. I'm just going to touch on that lightly, not go into depth in that. I don't think dating apps are good. The algorithms are also not in your favor as a man. Women swipe left on 80% of you. So I don't see, whether it's free or paid for, especially not paid for, I don't see the benefit for you. But if
you
you've
know
got
what
a
they call
Facebook,
they call it boomer book. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, but you can still
older women on there.
I keep hearing these stereotypes. You can meet 20-something-year-old women on Facebook. I'm not shitting you here. It's not just a boomer book. I mean, Billy likes to use Facebook, but that's
there is one other.
He's met the dinosaurs.
There is one other thing I wanted to go ahead and
Then Rhino just dates him.
And it does tie in. It does tie into some of what you were
Jesus
discussing
Christ,
a second ago.
Crusader.
I made a mistake that was actually worse than your friend that shall not be named. A former coworker, when I was getting ready to leave a place of employment for a better location, I made the mistake of asking her out. well, she gave a vague, yeah, maybe if we can find time that works for both of us. And I was like, okay, cool. I gave her several opportunities and realized that she was just saying that to be nice and string me along. Well, I was devastated, and I mentioned to people that I worked with that, or when they asked, hey, how did you go from being in a really good mood to looking like you want to rip someone's head off and use it as a bowling ball? And what I told them was I made a mistake and I should not have allowed myself to do it.
Mm-hmm.
She tried making a statement that I was talking smack on her.
Here we go.
Last I checked, when you say you made a mistake and you should not have done something, that's not on the other person. That is you taking ownership when you foul up.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it YouTube friendly and not use the language I really want to use.
We've slipped a few words out here already, so.
Mando, there's 2 rules you never break. Never shit where you eat. Never shit where you sleep.
Yeah, and like I said, this was, I asked her out about 5 days before I put in my 2-week notice for that particular company.
Yeah. Well,
I already knew I was on my way out. I just needed to get the call from the company saying, yeah, it's official.
Lesson learned. By the way, in the chat, no, I have not forgotten the video. And no, this has actually not been waffling because it all ties into the video. You'll see where we're going. It's actually good that we laid the strong foundation here to cover the rest of the video because I think it's going to make everything in the video make more sense. By the way, it's only an 8-minute video, so we got plenty of time on that one. What I'm going to do now, I think it's a good time for a little break here. We do have another gentleman backstage, so hang with us after the break. I'll bring you on. I'm sure you have a lot of insight into this. I'll just let you know he is MGTOW Outlaws backstage, and he has a different perspective on things, being in the MGTOW side of things. But I know he's very, how do I put it? He's very good with understanding these situations from his perspective, and I do hope to hear more of his opinion in the second half. But we will do a quick break here. I think we'll just do the old intro as a break. So you got a few minutes, empty your bladders, fill your beers, whatever you need to do. We'll get back into this video again. I do want to touch on it and get through it. Probably only 4 minutes of it because the second half, all he does is advertise, and I'm not going to waste your time watching that. I wasted it for you. Okay. But the first half, the first 4 minutes are important. Now, we'll jump to break here really quick. We'll be right back. Again, if you need to use the restroom or fill your beers, feel free to do so, and we will catch you on the other side. Thank you all for watching to this point. Actually, you know what? By the way, we'll roll the merch ad really quick. If you're interested, I am going to be updating some of the merch with the new logo. If you haven't noticed, we have a new logo. Again, thanks to Billy. I like the logo. It's a little bit more clean. It's only like monotone. There's white, red, black, basically. I guess that's triple, but whatever, you get the point. It's more simplified. It's nicer. It's going to look better on merch. So if you're interested in merch, if you want a koozie like Jimmy always shows off, or a sweater or a hat or anything like that, it does help out the channel, and it's cool stuff. So if you want any of that, I'll roll this now, then we'll do the break, and then I'll see you on the other side for more. We're back. Tom, I pay in reach rounds. That's that's how things are done around here. No, I definitely need to pitch towards the Billy Vaughn Awesome Fund again here very soon. But that being said, we have a video to get back into. So let's see if I missed anything in the chats. We're going to go over to Rumble. I've been neglecting you guys. Caleb Bond, The Art of War, a good read. I recommend it be standard reading. Women hate prostitutes for selling sex cheaply. Mwang, most of these young ladies nowadays have taken more loads than a washing machine before they're out of high school, and they wonder why. I'm not going to argue with you there, sir. Horde Doc, the difference on how the world treats modern men and women is this. For women, it's like Disneyland. For men, it's a battlefield. God damn, that's a good analogy. Absolutely. Over on MGTOW, we got a couple chats here. Might as well get through these. Groovy again, 73, 2 chats here. I'm Poppy's age, and I don't give a shit about finding a female. It's not important to me at all. I'm fine to be in my own skin. I have many friends and family, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, sir. So right on. Don't pee in your own pool. Yes. That's going back to Mando and his dating at work situation.
I freely admit it was a stupid move.
Yes, but that's okay. Live and learn. All right, let's jump back into the material. Again, this is Casey Zander. I'm not telling you to love his content or hate his content. We're simply reacting to it. I do have my issues with him, but you know, he also says some things that I agree with. So I think that's true with pretty much any creator. I mean, there's a lot of creators. There's certain things they say where I'm like, really, you fucking dick. But I also agree with. So those of you in Gilded already know. I've already expressed my opinions there. But let's get back into Casey's little 9 o'clock recap of his life. We'll start back at 56 seconds.
When you invest monogamously and exclusively into a modern woman, what you're going to notice is that they respect you less and less, despite you having to be there and perform at a higher level. So if you take a look at all the things that a man has to bring to the table in order to, you know, like fulfill a woman's desire of having like a main guy or a boyfriend or, God forbid, one day a husband one day, okay, you have to do a lot of things, okay? And the only reason my dating life is at the point where it is like good and stable and fun is because I've put a decade in the gym bodybuilding, okay? I've put in, like, I've been an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's wrong, but you know, again, there are ways to overcome deficiencies. I'm not going to knock him for going to the gym for 10 years. He does the entrepreneur thing. I'm not sure. I haven't watched enough of his material to know what he does other than YouTube as an entrepreneur. And maybe that's it. And that's great if that's what he does. I know he does classes and stuff for men. I'm not going to knock him for it. I would err on the side of caution with those. We're not going to get into that tonight. But,
How old
you know,
did you say he was?
I think he's 26, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but he's definitely in his 20s.
You know, doing classes about teaching men to be men seems a little young, but
yeah. Well, and I think he's reaching a younger audience. I think he's getting them right out of high school right now, which I mean is fine. But
okay, that's more of his scope versus ours being a little bit older.
Mm-hmm. So
you know what he's saying here goes back to two things. Mm-hmm. Number one, you're not competing just against Tom, Dick, and Bob in your town. You're competing against everyone, 4 billion other dudes in the world, right?
All the Chads, Tyrones. What's the other one?
Pookie,
Ray, Jose.
Yeah, gotta have Jose
with money to fly them out for a weekend,
right? So you're competing with that. Plus, you know, going back to that, you know, what have you done for me lately thing, right? You know, they got these guys who will fly them across the country or the world and buy them, you know, cars and all these other things. You know, you're competing with that now. So.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think that about covers that. I don't want to waffle, heaven forbid. So let's carry on. You sons of bitches in the chat. I see it. Waffling. All right. We'll move on then. Okay. Here we go.
Since I was 19, I put in 8 years in business from the ground up. Like, I've done all of the things.
Oh my God. 8 years. 8 years. Holy shit. Must be nice. I'm giving him a little shit here.
Give it a few more years and he'll start looking at women completely differently, growing hair in funny places, and he'll grow up like the rest of us.
You know, I'm trying not to knock it.
Shitload of hair coloring.
Yeah.
For those who care,
that it takes to
embrace the gray. I've been told anyway. Embrace
You've seen me.
There you go. I've got a couple coming in, and it's still like, fuck.
Moral
One of the nice things about being blonde.
He'll notice eventually.
Get to this point. So keep in mind, I'm coming at this with a vast array of experiences. Okay. I've been through every single trend possible, and I've seen every single aspect of female nature. Okay. When you're a woman's main.
Oh, no, sir. You're just getting started. You said you were in a long-term committed relationship. I'm not here to knock him, but I got to point it out. Now he's dating dozens of women at a time.
Can we reach out and actually get him on the show one of these nights?
I don't think. I mean, I could try. If one of you guys knows how to reach him, send me an email with his information to redpillrhino@hotmail.com. I'm serious. I'll have him on. I don't have a problem with him. So yeah, if we can get him on the show, I'd be happy to talk to him. But now that he's dating dozens of women at a time, he's just getting started with learning about women. Yeah, must be very busy. That's sausage, that poor sausage. Anyway, let's move on.
Guy, you're expected to bring so much to the table. That would be resources. Okay. That would be, you have to bring some level of status, some level of care, finances, protection, provisioning, attention. Okay. You have to actually nurture.
Again, I'm not knocking him, but I've known plenty of guys.
I heard this stuff somewhere before.
But I know plenty of guys that don't even fucking have a job that are getting women in their 9s and 8s, so he makes a point. I'm not arguing with him. I just know there's plenty of fucking bums out there that sell fucking, substances in aluminum foil packets that are getting to have their
Sling academies.
Oh, jeez. You know what? Okay. Gonna press play now, you fucks.
To the relationship. Okay. Here's what you want. As you do that and you consistently invest in them, with modern women today, they're going to typically pull back more and more, and they're going to lose respect for you more and more. Not to mention, we live in a society right now where women are expected, and not even expected. It's okay to get lots of attention from lots of different men.
No, it is not okay. And you have the option, gentlemen. It might be a lonely road, but you have the option to tell women, hey, on no uncertain terms, I'm more than willing to date you, but I don't like women who are on social media. Is that you? And if they say yes, you have the option to say, I'm not interested. You have that option. Okay. Don't think you don't, and don't let them dupe you into saying, well, you're just a controlling, manipulative, narcissistic asshole that's probably abusive. Yeah, I've heard that a million times. Every girl's ex is all of the things I just listed. So, but no, you can have, it's amazing. It's shocking. I'm blowing a lot of men's minds right now. You can have standards. Yeah. But anyway, I digress.
At the same time, like there's right now, there's going to be thousands of men watching this video right now who have girlfriends or have women that they're talking to who have a Snapchat inbox full of other guys that they're messaging.
Facts. Absolutely. And if she has a Snapchat, any woman that has a Snapchat, okay, here's for you younger guys that are trendy and don't ride brontosauruses that never exist into the sunset, Billy. Snapchat is the cheater's app. If she's on Snapchat, out. Done. No exceptions. I don't care. Well, I only use it to talk to family. I only use it to talk to my gay best friend. No, shut the fuck up. Done. Move on.
That's what a phone is
who
for.
Have tons of other men waiting.
No shit. No shit. And it's interesting. The only difference between Snapchat and the phone is that Snapchat disappears after you read it, unless you save it. But often it just disappears. So, cheaters app.
Waiting or trying to sleep with them, blah, blah. You understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. When you're a woman's main guy, here's what you're going to notice. She will lose respect for you more and more, because what you're going to find is.
Okay, this is where everything we talked about in the first hour applies. This is why everything we set up, we could have talked about after, but this is where it gets into it.
When you're a woman's main guy, here's what you're going to notice. She will lose respect for you more and more, because what you're going to find is they know on a deep down level, okay, that they are not necessarily bringing the feminine aspects to the table, but you're still investing in them. So here's what I mean. They know deep down that they are openly getting attention from a lot of men. They know deep down that they have probably given up their sexual best to a lot of different men in the past.
That's another thing I want to touch on. Gentlemen, you can jump in at any time again, but I'm going to keep the ball rolling as fast as we can here. If she's had those several bodies, even just 5 or 4, there's one that laid pipe like you never will be able to. There's always a bigger fish. Maybe you're the biggest fish. I mean, if you're lucky, that's the ideal goal, is to be her sexual best, to be her biggest fish, to blow her back out and leave her speechless in a puddle on the floor, literally. That's the goal, gentlemen. But if you can't be that, and there was some guy that had, let's just say the meth and dicks of men that did some shit that she will never forget, she will often, and you can ask women this. That's the fun part. You can talk to women, especially if you're their friend, they'll tell you. They'll fantasize about that man even while they're having sex with the man they're dating. So the higher her body, why does my body count matter? Because I don't want you thinking about Pookie or Ray Ray while we're sleeping together. That's why. That's called Alpha Widow. Again, I'm not paid for this, but go check out The Rational Male. If you haven't at this point, Jesus fucking Christ. It's $13 on Amazon. If you're lazy and you don't like reading, you can put on headphones. It's on Audible as well, but it's going to talk about all this. But the likelihood of her having an alpha widow scenario, which means she already had her sexual best, she thinks about him for the rest of her life, and you'll never be good enough, is high and gets higher the more people she slept with. So what he's talking about here. I was down to talk to my doctor about what the hell? Oh, by the way, I got to bring on Outlaw. Let's do that really quick. That reminds me. Don't know what that noise was, but Outlaw, welcome to the show, sir.
Hello, guys.
Sorry about the late introduction. Was there anything that we've talked about so far that you'd like to add to, or any topic you'd like to bring up at this point?
Quickly catch me up, because I've kind of been back and forth. What are we talking about here?
Everything. Essentially, the bottom line is that modern women don't commit often in relationships because of so many sexual options. We've talked about a lot of reasons behind it, but God, I don't know. I've only got like 2 hours to catch you up on. Where do you want to start?
Go ahead, brother. Yeah, I'll kind of catch up as we go.
Okay. That works for me. But if you've missed the first half, please go back and watch that. Those in the audience as well, please rewind, go back to the first half. You can always catch up with us later. You don't have to necessarily be at the live mark if you're just coming into the show. But we were discussing basically body count. We were talking about the biology in women and pair bonding. We were talking about long-term commitments. We were talking about devaluation and how women over a period of time lose respect for you. How they have a global sexual marketplace to choose from at the tap of a finger on their phone in their pocket at all times. Hypergamy. I mean, we've talked about a lot. So if you've missed the first half, go back before the break and check that out. All right, let's get back into this video here. I'm going to back it up just a hair so we stay focused.
They know deep down that they are openly getting attention from a lot of men. They know deep down that they have probably given up their sexual best to a lot of different men in the past. And they know on some level that they probably don't provide the man that they're with a whole lot of fulfillment. Okay. Yet.
So we've talked about the alpha widow syndrome. Something else to be said, as she goes through a series of men, she's going to collect at least mental baggage, perhaps children, in which case, no, that's not an option for you. There are exceptions, and I'll give you exceptions that are fairly obvious. If she's a widow, if they were in a long-term committed relationship and he stepped out, he cheated, he abandoned her and his children, These are exceptions to the rule, but I still wouldn't make a habit of going anywhere near single motherville. It's no man wants to pick up and play another man's save game, bottom line. So I don't recommend it. I sympathize with those men that picked up where, again, if it's a widow situation and they raise the kids, there are success stories there. But I don't recommend it, especially if you want to start your own family. It's just going to be problematic for you. Single mothers should be a no-go zone, bottom line, in my opinion. Okay? Let's carry on.
They scratch their head and they sit there and go, well, this guy is still investing in me. If this guy's willing to invest in me, he's probably not high value or high status to begin with. So you will consistently see a decline in intimacy.
That is what we're talking about keeping your options open. Not only should you be seeing the other girls checking you out while you're still in a relationship, she should be seeing it too. And she should know on no uncertain terms that you still have those options. Otherwise, what he's saying becomes fact. And again, intimacy lowers in relationships due to several reasons. One thing I would highly recommend is if you can, and if it starts drying up, it might be time to move on anyway. At least maintain the 48-hour rule. It doesn't have to be firm, but if you are not at least being intimate with your partner frequently-ish, maybe once a week works for you, but at least keep the ball rolling in the sexual department. Otherwise, yeah. And if she's withdrawing sex, if she's withholding sex, if she's weaponizing sex, just get the fuck out of there. Don't waste time with a woman like that. The first time she weaponizes sex, well, you upset me, so. Okay, well, there's the door. It's been open. The day you met me, I told you the door was open. And it's still open. So you can get your bags at any time. Somewhere in the next 24 hours would be ideal. Door's open. Please leave. I'm done with this shit. Don't play that game. Okay. All right. Moving on.
An uptick in bitchiness. You're going to see a decline in sexual desire. You understand what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. Therefore, here's what you're going to notice. If you're the side guy, okay, in your brain, you're going to think you're at the.
Again, take this metaphorically. Never be the fucking side guy. This lack of experience in this man hopefully never bites him in the ass. But being the side guy is a good way to get your fucking teeth stomped into a curb. Okay? And I'm not telling you to be the jealous guy that catches your wife or girlfriend cheating to do that. I'm just saying, and I'm not even going to say I understand. I know that there are men that do not keep themselves in check and act emotionally in rage when they see that. If you're in this situation, go ahead.
It's an impulse.
Okay.
It is like I said, it's an emotional thing, but it is an impulse. And what is it? I just shared a story in Gilded not long ago locally about a guy who found out his employee was sleeping with his wife. Ended up taking a few shotgun rounds to the face.
Ooh, shit. Okay. Yes. On that note, if you are ever in that position, and I know you're thinking like, no, okay, I heard what you said, but now I'm looking at it 5 months from now or whenever it happens to you. Hopefully never, but if it happens to you, remember this. There is no woman on earth that you can't replace, and there is no woman on earth worth a lifetime in prison for. Not one. Your freedom is much more valuable than some punani, okay? Bottom line. So if you catch her in bed with another man, I know it takes some self-control, some discipline, and I know you're going to have some feelings and thoughts and want to do some things. Fucking film it. Make sure if you're in a marriage, make sure you film that and bring that to court. Especially if you have children, so that the court can go over that and go, oh yeah, no, that's a reason. Okay, I see here. And walk out. Okay, calmly. Let him finish his business. I don't fucking care. I'm interrupting you. Sorry, man. Maybe I fucked up your sex for the night, but you're done. You just walk away. You disengage.
Somebody did that recently. I think it was a comedian that I saw. It's like, oh no, I'm inconveniencing you.
Yeah.
You go ahead and finish up. I'll be outside.
If you figure out who that is, send that to me later because I want to check that out.
I want to know who it is too.
Right on, man. But anyway, we'll get back into this video. But please, gentlemen, if you end up in that situation where you catch it or you find out about it or you know about it or somebody told you, just it's not worth your fucking life, man. And if you act impulsively, yes, jail cells are small, the food sucks, and there's not a lot to do, and you very seldomly get fresh air. So keep that in mind. Plus, you can replace a bitch. A few months down the road, you could find better, hotter, younger, more supple. So don't do anything stupid over a fucking woman. Moving on.
Number 2 position. You're like, well, I'm the side guy. She has a main guy. She likes that other guy more. False. That's not how this works. Okay. When you're the side guy, here's what you're going to understand. A woman cannot be in love.
Okay. Somebody was jumping in there.
No, that was me laughing.
Okay.
When he made the comment about that being false.
Well, what he's saying is true. We'll get there. You'll see. You'll see.
False. That's not how this works. Okay. When you're the side guy, here's what you're going to understand. A woman cannot be in love with 2 men at the same time. So the second that you're intimate with a woman, okay, despite her being in an exclusive relationship or not, okay, if you are not willing or even wanting or desiring to commit, okay, you're completely just taking the interaction in the present moment. Where it goes is where it goes. And by the end of it, you're fine to go back home and you guys go along on your separate ways. You will 100% start to win that woman's heart within just 2 to 3 dates. Okay. And from what I found is that even though you're quote unquote the side guy, you'll 100% in her heart of hearts, you are looked at as the main guy.
He's probably missing a point here, and I'm going to address that in a second, but he's not wrong. He's not wrong, but I'll explain why in a second. Mr. E Avatar on Rumble, he says, women know they can afford to lose respect for you or disrespect you because she knows she'll get the cash and prizes backed by Big Brother. Yes, government involvement. There is that, and also she can replace you. She knows it. She always has options, so eventually she devalues you because, quite frankly, she can. She can afford to. She can afford to fuck around and find out. And most women are not held accountable for their actions anyway, so why does it matter for them? Mr. E Avatar also says no fault divorce means catching her with another man doesn't matter. The court won't care, just saying you are correct, but check your local laws. Not all states have no fault divorce. Now, back to what he's saying here. What he is talking about is hypergamy. Okay. A woman is with a man and she starts devaluing him. She starts losing respect for him. She's not in love with him anymore. What's going to happen is she's going to start seeing other options, maybe even pursuing those. Excuse me. Actually, I'm going to switch to panel. You guys jump in. Give me a second. Bueller?
Yeah. Well, I figured I'd give somebody else the option to jump in, but seeing as no one has, all I have to say is deja vu. Anyone? I saw this stuff 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's nice and rewarding to see that there are guys that are young enough to be my son seeing this stuff and actually like posting something about it.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of nice, but we'll carry on.
All right. Now, back to what I was saying before I started coughing up a lung there. Hypergamy. So she's losing respect and losing the I'm in love with him feeling and all that garbage, right? But what's happening is now she's noticing her milkshakes are in fact bringing the boys to the yard and she wants to start entertaining them. Cheating takes many forms. Most of you here are probably aware that, yes, sexual intercourse is definitely a form of cheating, but also emotional cheating is a thing. I know that sounds like some therapist bullshit made up by women, but no. If you were talking to a man and talking about slobbing on his knob, so to speak, that is cheating in its own right, okay? If she's texting another dude about when she's going to meet up to suck him off, that's cheating, okay? So she loses respect for you. She starts devaluing you. She starts weighing her options. She starts having secret conversations. Women will break up with you 6 months before you know it. This is called monkey branching. What he is talking about here is when a woman starts pursuing her other sexual options. What's going to happen is while she's losing respect for you and falling out of love with you, the new guys she's entertaining, she's going to idealize. She's not going to see their flaws. She's not going to see their problems. She's not going to see that, he farts in bed, little shit like that. Yeah, dumb shit that irritates women, but whatever. She's not going to see his flaws. What she's going to see is he gives me tingles. And what he is referring to is women can't love more than one guy at a time, is that she is going to always pursue her sexual best option. When she starts monkey branching that 6 months, sometimes even a year before your relationship is over, she's getting the tingles for other men. And there's one that stands out above all the rest. And that is where what he is talking about is true. It's not necessarily in love with one person at a time. It's more pursuing her best option, and you are no longer it. And at that point, ironically, she's going to create scenarios in her head to make you fail over and over and over again, just so she can quickly lose attraction for you. She will start an argument. She will do anything she can to push the button. She knows, because she's been sleeping with you for 3 years. She knows everything about you. She'll do everything to self-destruct that relationship and make you look like the cocksucker she knows you are. And that, again, is part of the shit testing, but that is more along the lines
demolition of the relationship.
Exactly. Controlled demolition is a great way to say it. She's going to convince herself through your actions, because she knows how to push your buttons, how to destroy your relationship. Back to the panel.
And real quick, so when you said not all states have no-fault divorce, I thought they did, so I checked in on it. Technically, they all do have no-fault divorce, but some are just, 17 are no-fault sole-only grounds, and the rest are no-fault with additional fault grounds.
Okay, so
I think no fault
that
went
was a
into
little
place in
weird
the
when you
late
said it,
60s.
but now I got the explanation, and I'm just putting that out there in case anybody else had the same thought as well.
yeah, so here's the thing. Nobody on this panel that I know of, unless one of you bastards, you're holding out on me, none of us are legal professionals or can give legal advice. I would consult a family attorney if in the event you come across a situation that is going to involve a divorce. They will understand your local laws a lot better than any of us will, but consult with them. That is my legally for this evening. Gentlemen, back to you.
Well, come on, guys, chime in, say something.
Speak.
I don't want to hijack everything.
This isn't my field. I'm the guy who just doesn't care.
Well,
See,
Every once in a while, you have a golden moment there, Jackal.
yeah.
Huh?
Never mind. Carry on.
He's playing Ravenfield again, isn't he?
No, I'm playing 7 Days to Die.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Outlaw, any thoughts right now?
I hate women.
I would just say to the men here, decide what you want to do. I mean, is dating women going forward something that men here wants to do? Or are you interested in more like us here who are MGTOW, just saying, you know what, no, we're just going to walk away from it? This is the first question I would ask to all men here. Decide what you want for your life, men. Are you interested in relationships, dating, women, you know, this sort of thing? Or are you more interested in maybe pursuing your own career, your own life? Decide that first. You know, that's what I tried to say in my last stream, why there's a big difference between, you know, teaching Red Pill and then teaching MGTOW content.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
First decide, is this what you want? Are you,
Yes.
are you so, how do I say this? Are you so dyed in the wool blue pill that you would just rather stay comfortable dating and continue on, you know, knowing that this is going to happen to you as a man? You're going to get used by the system.
Really quickly to interject, would you rather be in Camp Cougar Hunter, or would you rather become a level 10 MGTOW monk? The choice is yours, gentlemen. There you go. Outlaw, back to you.
Nah, but that's pretty much it. No, that's all I had to say so far for that. You know, I listen to guys like this, and it's just, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are some pieces to pull out of this. This is why I'm, as Tom fucking pipes in here, I don't think this person has ever performed at a level near to human, but he said something else here. Yes. RPR, the fact that you give this creature any time is telling on you. No. I like to keep an open mind, and I like to check out the channels, even the ones I disagree with. I think it's healthy to have different perspectives. Do I agree with everything he says? No. But can I pull out gems of truth in what he's saying and elaborate on it and maybe make it a more valuable piece of information for you to take home and digest, chew on, think about? Yes. I think it's worth at least that much effort and time. Because if you listen
on a cougar.
Yeah, listen to me on this. A lot of young men might just watch him and go, okay, well, I guess this should be a side piece. No, you shouldn't. That's dumb.
Nope.
They have to run away from shotgun blast. Dangerous.
But again, if I don't cover this, if I don't talk about this, there might be somebody from his show that watches my content and goes, oh, that's what that all means in depth and in context. I've done a disservice. So yeah, I'm going to waste a little time covering this because again, I don't agree with everything he has to say or the way he's saying it, but I can pull the gems of truth and the wisdom from the red pill information that we all know here to properly draw this out and elaborate on it. So on that,
read that the title of his video there. That's very telling in and of itself.
Well, he's the kind of guy that's trying to sell courses. I'll be honest. With you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Dating road.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, it takes one to know one. But
Jesus, man.
I gotta lighten the mood. I gotta lighten the mood every now and then. But Outlaw brought up a wonderful point. There is a silver lining in what this guy is saying. All of us have a limited number of heartbeats. The time we have on this spinning rock is limited. There are things you can do and there are things you can't do. And if you're going to dedicate your time to try and allure a phosphorescent, ambiguous, indecisive individual to share the limited moments of your life, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to go and experience every thrill that life has to offer you, why not go out and live that life? Go experience the thrills. Go out and experience the different locations. I know Billy brought up something a couple months back about going to Gettysburg. Go and see the places that we are lucky enough to have within the United States. Go see all the different things we have. Get those experiences because those are things that nobody will ever be able to take away from you. Right. And the time you waste on people like this are only taking away a consumable that you will never be able to get back. Live your life, do your thing, be happy, and enjoy the moment.
Speaking of things I'll never be able to get back, I'm not bringing this on my show, Jimmy. We're not bringing this here. You can keep this on your show. I will hopefully entertain it in the comments here. Is he slicing those balls?
He won't stop now.
Thin and deep frying them. Look, if you want to find out more about how to not get time back, go over and watch Jimmy Bones Waffle World. I believe he is Saturdays and Mondays, where he will tell you the hour-long intimate details about he takes thinly sliced and deep fried balls to the mouth. Okay, if you are interested in that kind of content, Jimmy Bones Waffle World is for you. We're not doing that here. So there you go.
Yeah, let's please
meet. Go ahead, Mando. I'm going to say something to Jimmy afterwards.
Damn.
Let's please
Man
not
went on
say
for an
anything
hour.
more on that.
No, we're done here. We're not talking about it.
Let me just say that, Jimmy, if we ever meet at Pop's Mantastic Moments party, whenever the hell that happens, please make sure you maintain a minimum of 6 foot distance away from me. Please, for the love of God.
There's a lot of homo suspicion points from that stream. Anyway, Tom Davis. Men have all the options, and they should have their mother chime in on the decision.
I mean, back in the day, you would have to bring that girl home and have her approved by the parents.
Look. I get the sentiment. And I get that mother knows best, but no. Mother grew up in the same feminist indoctrination most of these women did. Okay. Mom, even if she wants the best for you, her little boy, right? She's going to side with the feminist ideology because it was drilled into her head from the time she was born until now. Okay. There is something to be said about older women that no longer have any interest in the game of dating, that are more honest about life. There is something to be said about that. Your mother is always going to want what's best for you, but she's also going to be seeing things through a feminist lens. I would defer to your father if he isn't also living on the blue pill plantation.
Well,
really, guys, this is a tough spot to be in. Jackal,
well,
ease up.
I could see using your mother as a backstop, so to speak, because women understand other women and they can't stand each other.
Yeah, no shit.
So if you have a woman willing and volunteering to pass off her child to another woman, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Like, much like fathers can tell and vet boyfriends for their daughters, mothers can do the same thing for their sons. Because women look at their sons as the ones that will provide and protect for them in their older years. They're not going to let their son go to some crazy multiple personality individual, because they want to be able to maintain having that security and that stability of having a son to provide, protect, and to care for them in their later years.
Okay.
So there is some logic
Now,
behind
what if
it.
that son doesn't care about his own mother and doesn't care if she's dead or
Well,
dying?
then we're not going to get into that right now.
That's for another stream.
Yeah, we'll save that topic for your show. We'll come on and talk about it there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jimmy Bones, if your woman doesn't notice the other women checking you out and asserting her dominance to keep the other women away, she ain't the real one.
True.
Yeah, I can't really disagree with that, but again,
even in a cornfield,
there's a difference between Jesus. There's a difference between asserting her dominance and being an overbearing, jealous Kuwantaha. If you got one of those, also cut, sling, load, run. If a girl likes your photos and she fucking flips the fuck out, or even if you like her photos, some other girls' photos, just stop it. Don't stick around with that. That's bad news. That's bad news. Very bad times. Let's see what else we got in the chat here, really quick.
I'm trying to lighten the mood.
No, you're doing good. You're doing just fine. Let's see. Oh yeah, that stream. That stream will go down in infamy.
What, the cornfield stream or the other one?
Yes.
Yes.
The last three.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Polska, there's something called dissecting and deciphering all of the pieces of that video. But yes, we've actually covered quite a bit of ground. So Tom says, so this guy is saying polyamory is impossible. No, I don't. Well, yeah, I guess he kind of is from the woman's perspective. If she can only love one man at a time. Yeah. And I mean, not necessarily love, but invest her eggs if she still has any. Yes. I guess that argument is kind of being made there, isn't it? A little bit. I'll actually accept that. Let's see.
Well, there are examples of how it works well for the male side. I have yet to see any historical example where it works out with female polyamory, where they are the main person in the relationship and has many guys.
Spoiler alert.
Other than some of the woke nonsense relationships that get put on TV.
I don't watch
like
TV,
I said, that's
but I get
nonsense.
Your point. Yeah. Let's see. Jimmy Bones, I've been devalued and replaced many times. Funny thing is, I'm that one valuable left on the shelf that only collected value over time.
You ready for Sling Back?
I'm going to actually challenge you, Jimmy. We've spoken many times on air, off air, and we've talked about some unpalatable decisions of yours. But let me just
Drinking Bud Light.
Well, there's that and cow balls, but
Corn
look,
Balls.
I'm not going to fault you for.
balls.
I'm not going to fault you for. Jesus Christ! I'm not going to fault you for being devalued and being replaced many times. It happens to the best of us. However, there is something to be said about masculine frame and perhaps a check. So if you're noticing that as a pattern of behavior with the women you're dating, it might be a reflection of, and dare I say this unpopular opinion, you. When you say you've been left on the shelf and only collected value over time, I am going to challenge you, but in a lovingly no homo bro way. Here we go. If you are sitting on a shelf and collecting value over time, women would be looking on the shelf to pick you up off the shelf and take them home for themselves. In other words, it may be time to recognize it is time for some changes, time for some self-improvement in order to start getting that female attention naturally. I'm not discounting that you have been devalued in relationships. Again, that happens. But if your value is being collected over time, they would be noticing. So just something to consider. It's a harsh truth, but you should never be sitting on a shelf. There should be women looking to pick you up. Okay? That's where I'm going to leave that one, sir. Again, no fault to you. I'm just giving you a recommendation.
Well, and some people play hard to get. There are others who play hard to want. Just saying. Yeah. Right. There's people like me that are just hard to want.
Yes.
So.
All right. We've got Tom Davison here. I have banged chicks. I have banged chicks twice this guy's age, and they had more common sense. Well, I can't argue there. Tom Davis, LOL, read the diary of your current partner and find out what the world really is. Holy shit. I didn't even think about that. She's got a diary. Whew. Okay. Yeah. You can find out everything you need to know there. I'm not saying that it's morally sound to make decisions like that, but I understand. I do understand that. All right. Let's see.
It's kind of like the popism. I don't. We're not asking, or we're not recommending any kind of violent activity, but we understand.
Yes. Moving right along in the chat here. Men dick think, women tingle think. Well, no, yes, and no, sir. I'm arguing with the chat tonight on purpose. Men dick think until about 31 to 36-ish. Sometimes they dick think for life because they just never fucking unfuck themselves. But most men in their mid-30s on up are pretty pragmatic and take the emotion and bullshit and little head thinking out of it. Women never stop tingle thinking, though. They never stop tingle thinking.
They never stop pussy thinking.
Yes, both use their genitals to do the thinking when the right spots are hit. Well, I will say that even a non-dick thinking man can easily forget. In a moment, there is post-nut clarity. Those are counter argument from Jackal. Yes, sir.
When they're hit, that can be negated with a blunt force strike, not of the sexual type.
God, no. Okay, let's move on from self-harming.
Jackal, are you going full caveman?
Well, No, I'm saying that I've seen.
Slap
we all
himself
know
in the fucking dick with a baseball bat. That's
all
that's
the guys here have probably understood what it's felt like to get even nicked. The noogie, it's not pleasant.
We bring Jackal on the show. This is what we get.
And I personally have seen what happens when a girl catches a steel toe boot up to the same general area.
Yes.
It's not good for her at all. It results in about 2 to 3 days worth of pissing blood.
It can.
Okay, we're gonna move right along. RPR has a lot of dignity. He backs it up with a wooden. You're goddamn right. You know what? It's been a minute. So, Tom, this moment is for you, sir.
By the wooden fist.
Brought to you by the wooden fist. Yes.
The wooden fist.
Let's see.
There's the teaser, the pleaser, the rocker, and then the showstopper.
The shocker, then the showstopper. But yes, Jimmy, I want everybody to go watch Jimmy's next show, but I want you to remember what he just said here in the chat. Remember that when you're in the comments section that he doesn't read, and tell him how you feel about that.
He's too busy hanging out in the corn, the hillbilly.
All right, Jimmy, goddammit, I really needed to join in so I can stand up for myself. Oh my God, he's still going. This is sad. It's sad
Is
and pathetic.
anyone keeping points on how many this man has racked up in the past week?
We got to let the captain know.
Yeah. Anyway,
At
Tom
this
Davis.
point, I think Blake is losing that title.
Tom Davis over here with
Jimmy
all
might be
the
the
hate.
admiral.
Tom Davis with all the hate. This is from a bunch of young bucks, LOL. He also has to say, masculine frame sounds like a psych term. Could be. We could talk to Nate about an hour at least, I'm sure, on that topic. And then finally, you forgot about the minivan. I must have missed something. Minivans are great for extracurricular activities. I'm just saying. But that's another show.
So the minivan is the millennial shaggin' wagon. That's just what it is.
I've been there. I've done that. The vans are always good times.
That term.
What, deprived?
No,
Tom Davis,
no.
Jackal, you were very deprived.
Deprived of what?
Well, lots of things.
Nonsense?
Apparently. No. Have you ever heard the term shaggin' wagon? I'm just saying it's
that's the term that I was going,
well, see, Jackal, around the time you were born, that's what the bed of pickup trucks were actually used for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they were great for, because no matter where you went, they were there with you, and they were always made, and you could sleep in it, you can do extracurricular activities in it, and you always had your bed with you everywhere you went.
Speaking of which, Jimmy makes
I'd
a
rather
point.
sleep on the ground.
Jimmy is the master waffler, and the chat has driven me to waffle. So let me check on Rumble, MGTOW, then we'll
Wall
move on.
master at this point.
You're the cougar master, dude. Just admit it.
Yeah, that's fine. Mr. E Avatar. No, I think have I read Mr. E Avatar on Rumble? If women start talking about your, his, hers problems with you outsiders, she's looking to replace you. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. I'll read that again. Mr. E Avatar. If women start talking about your relationship, his, her problems with outsiders, especially other men, she's looking to replace you. He also says no fault divorce means catching her with another man. Doesn't matter. Okay, we did read that. But that next one, if women start talking about your relationship problems, it's game over. Yes, absolutely. What do we got on MGTOW really quick, and then we'll get back into this 4-minute video that I've been waffling on all night. You guys are fucking assholes in the chat, I swear. Anyway,
we try.
Critical cracker. Not you. You guys on the panel are bad enough, but the chat's ruthless. When you start wearing you start wearing makeup, Red Rhino. I don't know. To catch my better angle, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Critical Thinker also says, will it make me look as good as Red Rhino? I will buy a t-shirt. Well, I'm just saying.
If you wanted the better angle, just better to turn the camera off.
Yeah, well, I could do that. Also, the chats are dead. Yes, on MGTOW they are. I've been trying to push people over to Rumble for the most part. MGTOW is definitely good as well, as long as you're not on YouTube. Head over to Pop's house, go for it. And Groovy again. Well, it's just you and me. I left for a minute. Okay, and just walk away. Prepare for the fall of society. Have storable food. When hot zombies show up, feed them until they are not zombies. Then they will be thankful. I'm not sure what you mean, Groovy again 73, but
I don't think it works that way.
I get that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Okay, let's get back to this. Jesus Christ, this chat tonight. All right. Here we go. Let's get through this. I know he's about to sell shit, so we're about done with this.
And what happens is she's to consistently lose more and more respect for the guy that she's actually seeing who is investing in her, and she's going to now be chasing your attention and your validation. Okay? This is how modern day works.
He's absolutely right. I just really wish he would have had the foresight tonight. Be so stupid to call it being the side piece. Maybe we can have him on. Maybe we can talk to him, but never be the fucking side piece. What he's describing is her monkey branching to the next sexual best option.
What you're going to notice is that as a man, if you look at it where it is in your favor to be the side guy, you're going to start to invest less and less time in women, and you're going to start to invest more and more time into your purpose.
Oh my God, this fucking case here. No, what he's saying is, knowing you're the side piece, you don't have to emotionally invest in her, which you shouldn't be doing even if you're the main piece. Even if you're in the relationship, you shouldn't be investing all of your emotions and feelings and thoughts and time into her. You should be doing the work on yourself, even in the relationship. So, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm following him, but I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's mixing up this idea, and I understand he's young. I understand that. But he's mixing up this concept of it's better to be the side piece and not emotionally invested. He's kind of like he's maybe browsed over the Rational Male book and just like skipped to the parts he liked and left out the rest. What he's describing is being your own mental point of origin. I'm the side piece, so I don't have to emotionally invest, and I can worry about working on myself, and therefore she's more attracted to me. He's giving you advice on how to be the main piece. If you gentlemen would pay attention, this is how you keep her interest even in the relationship, by not focusing on her. It has nothing to do with being a side piece. He's telling you the cheat codes without even realizing he's telling you. You don't emotionally invest in her. She pursues you. That's how this game works. That's how you win the game. But let's carry on here.
Your ambitions, who you are as a man, and actually getting ahead in life. Now, little do most men know, when you invest all of your time into you, you start to get ahead because a woman literally can't replace you. Like if you've
facts, and it shouldn't be just a side piece. It should be who you are.
Put in years in the gym under your body, okay, and you've built a V-taper and you're strong, you're going to bring a certain arousal factor to the table that not a lot of guys can. If you count your macros,
something like 70% of Americans are overweight. So, yeah, he does make a point. There is an advantage to being in shape in a world full of fat fucks. So,
and you track your diet and you're actually lean, okay, you're going to bring a certain look that most guys can't, because most guys are completely fat. Okay.
By the way, it's not hard. Don't comfort eat.
That's what she said.
Don't shove shit in your face, and don't have Tourette's of the elbow. There you go. Oh, and don't drink daily. And if you do drink, don't drink Bud Light, because your dick will fall off.
Last but not least, if you've been up-leveling your business, you're actually looking at investments, you're actually trying to get ahead financially, you're now bringing
Again, I have no hate for him, but I will tell you a lot of this is selling, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. We're not going to watch the end.
Level of financial security not many men can bring. So if anybody's watching this and you go, well, you sound like an arrogant dick, you have to understand that you as a man, if you want to win in the dating game in 2023, you are going to have to check those boxes off for yourself so you can act the way that you need to act in order to attract anybody, because the competition is getting more and more stiff. So quick recap. When you were the side guy,
he said stiff. Yeah, no shit, man. And it doesn't take much. You know, you work on your career. You go to the gym once in a while. You don't eat like a fat fuck. You don't sit on the couch playing video games and eating Cheetos all day. I have nothing against Cheetos or video games. It's the all day part that I am suggesting maybe you don't do. Okay. He's not telling you any kind of mystery that you need to pay to find out more. Don't be a fat fuck. Work on your goals, your career. Always be your mental point of origin, meaning putting yourself first regardless. Never chase her. Let her chase you. Chase excellence instead. Not hard concepts to understand. We don't need to sell a package to find out more.
You get to invest less, but you literally receive more. You receive better behavior. You obviously have, the woman has higher sexual desire for you, and you're the man that she's not actually chasing.
Again, translation, because you've invested time in yourself, she is always seeking your validation, and you are just kind of giving her the carrot on the fucking stick on the string. Okay. That's the mentality of putting yourself first. Of course, she wants your validation.
Even if it's a baby carrot.
Even if it's a baby carrot. Yeah, it doesn't even, size doesn't matter, man. It's the motion of the ocean or whatever they fucking say. Anyway, no, seriously. If you are not giving her the pedestalization she wants, she is going to pursue you more. And in fact, that will increase her sexual desire, which means you get more fun out of it. So it's a win-win, and it's so contrary to what men are taught. It's, well, I need to treat her special, and I need to prove that I'm the good man to her. No, you fucking nut job. Just go work on you, even if you're in a relationship, and have your fun on the side when you have time for it. Be your mental point of origin, not making her the focus ever.
Chasing the attention and the validation from. Meanwhile, the main guy who's bringing all of the resources is stable, who's bringing the financial security. What you're going to notice is that that man is in the far worse position because she's going to consistently lose respect for him. Don't watch this video until
unless he's doing what I've just mentioned. If he is his mental point of origin and he is not pedestalizing her and he is focusing on his goals and she is chasing and seeking his validation, then the side piece thing doesn't happen, especially if he's maintaining, again, as Tom pointed out, the psych term masculine frame and staying on his purpose and staying on his grind and not getting distracted by her and her nagging. Things work out pretty good for you.
Take this abruptly where you think that this is bad or this is evil. This is just the way things are. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to adapt, or what you're going to realize is that the way you want the world to be currently isn't, which means that it's your job and your duty as a masculine man to look at the world objectively and say, hey, how can I win in the game of life and serve my best interest? Okay.
Okay. Well, here's again, the title of the video is why we're focusing on this so heavily, but there is also the option of just focusing on you and not giving a fuck at all. In other words, your focus should never be women to begin with. The purpose of this video is to tell you, basically women have a lot of reasons why they leave you, obviously, and maybe how you can prevent that. I mean, it is going to, bottom line, still be just your turn. That doesn't matter if it lasts 3 months or 30 years. It's still just your turn. At any time, you need to be ready to accept it. It's over. My turn's over. Maybe that never happens. Maybe you pass peacefully in your sleep one night and she's by your side. God rest your soul. But you have to be ready to accept at any moment that relationship is over and be ready to move on. Not cry about it, not get upset. And I'll be honest with you, and I've said this in past streams, unless you were considering having children, I wouldn't even consider marriage. And even if you consider marriage, I wouldn't do it anywhere near a courthouse or a marriage certificate or any of that. Blake has actually talked about this a little bit with me offline and suggested the solution that may be doing it with the church and not having the state involved. I don't know. Can't say here or there whether the state would force fuck themselves into it, but I'm not advocating for marriage. I still can't. The courts, the government is tyrannical, corrupt, out of fucking control, and gives women the benefit of the doubt 90% of the time. So I can't recommend that. But I mean, you can still date. You can still have fun. You can still be in a committed relationship if you choose, or you could choose not to. But either way, gentlemen, I think knowing everything you know about female nature from this video and several others that I've covered, you've got to understand that if you're not putting yourself first, you're fucking yourself. I mean, for one, you're hurting yourself whether you're in a relationship or not. But two, you put yourself at the disadvantage where a woman is going to start pursuing other options. The more you're into her, the more you pedestalize her, the more she's repulsed by you. So don't be that fucking moron. Anyway, I think we're about through with this video. Let's see.
You look at life from a bit of a selfish perspective and you say, how can I win? Okay. Not what's right, but how can I win?
Mental point of origin.
Because what's right and what feels right, okay, isn't how the world actually is. And the second that you try to make the world a fake fairy tale of how you wish it was deep down, you're going to be mistaken when you have your ass handed to you in the dating game. And this is why you see more and more men single year after year after year, which leads me to my end conclusion that I've talked about since 2019. The only way to win is to become full stack. There's a reason on this channel since 2019, I've been talking about MBT, okay, masculine behavioral techniques.
Yes. Now he's getting the sales tactics. So we'll leave it there.
I was about to say, sounds like a buzzword from his program.
Yeah, no, that's where he's getting into sales. So that's about it. But what he's saying, I think we've broken it down and made it make a lot more sense. I don't think there's any way we could add to or cover that better. But just keep in mind what we've talked about tonight as far as shit. body count in women, the ability to pair bond, the global sexual marketplace, the lack of morals, older women convincing younger women to go off the rails and make bad decisions, therefore ruining their chances for success in the future, hypergamy, monkey branching. I mean, with everything I've told you, you know what the odds are against you. Again, I'm telling you, you can date. I'm not going to tell you you can't. I'm never going to be that guy like, don't date, gentlemen, never date. I'm not going to be that guy. But I am going to tell you your odds and the chances of you spending the rest of your life with the woman you are interested in or dating right now are not great. The solution to that is quite simply understanding the title of this video. She is not yours. It is just your turn. Focus on you, live for you, do what is best for you. She is simply a compliment, arm candy, if you will, a benefit and a bonus to your life, but not the focus nor the priority. It should never be that way. Gentlemen, the floor is yours again.
I think you kind of just summed it up right there.
Jackal.
I know that me growing up, it was kind of the opposite. It was supposed to be the partner was your focus.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't focus on yourself, and you're gonna become unattractive to the partner.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not focused on yourself, you don't keep building yourself up. What is it? Like I said earlier, she's going to not be interested in you as much, and she will look for the next mysterious person that kind of gives her butterflies to pursue. Yeah. But we should be aware of all these things that we talk about so we can protect people who don't know.
True.
Because if you don't know, then you don't know the warning signs, and you don't know that maybe I should cut this off before it becomes a hindrance, not only to you, but make you go down the rabbit hole and be a lost opportunity to put, a notch on a life saved because they had no idea this was avoidable or how to navigate around it.
Yeah. Let's see. In the chat here really quick, we have Tom Davis. If you do it through the church, you have to be sure they don't register the marriage with the state. This is while hand fasting is where a hand fasting is the way to go. They only last a year. I'm not sure what hand fasting is.
Is that like a trial marriage?
Something about a pagan ritual. I don't know. And Tom, I see what you're saying. I'm going to put these up a couple times so we can all take that in. Biology doesn't lie, man. It is what it is. You might disagree, but yeah, no. If you catch a girl before she's had fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry and become the town bicycle and ridden the cock carousel, I rolled all those into one. You might stand a chance of there. Pair bonding is a real thing, like it or not. It's not an excuse. It's a biological reality. Okay.
Well, that's why there's so many older women out there who are single and most likely will spend 40 to 80 being alone for a very long time with boxed wine and cats.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. In the MGTOW chat, really quick, we have Groovy again. After 15 days without food, people turn into like zombies. Look it up if you don't believe me. Yep. I think there were experiments done in certain regimes. That was, by the way, a $5 super chat. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, no, the zombie thing. I've seen the old experiments where they did that to people, and it's nightmare fuel. What the fuck is he wearing? I'm sure you're talking about Casey Zander there. I believe a robe, a gold chain, and a lot of arrogance. But I don't know. Groovy again, 73. Very few women suck in a good way, and when you realize it, you're better off. Yes, but if they do suck in a good way, take advantage, gentlemen. There you go. All right. Over on, God damn it. What do we got on the Rumble here? Hordoc. Or if she has open communication with her family and then suddenly goes to texting only when you're around her. Oh, matter of fact, here's one to look out for. If she normally, where am I? I got to look at my screen here. Okay, here we are. If you notice changes in behaviors, she suddenly has a lock screen on her phone, or even lighter than that. Maybe she texts and you can easily look over the phone. Suddenly it's at a 45-degree angle where you can't see what's going on. There's something going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's fucking someone, but it means she's having conversations she wouldn't want you to see. So there's a lot of truth to that. Over on the YouTube side, Jesus, Tom is really going to argue this in grave. Okay. Biology and science don't apply.
He must have experienced all the exceptions.
I don't know, but I can't argue brain chemistry. I can't argue hormone changes. I can't argue changes in pathways in the brain after a number of sexual partners. I can't argue it. I can't disprove it. There's plenty of science to back it. But we can agree to disagree. I'm going to take the side of science, and you take whatever side you're taking. Tom, again,
we can allow people. You're getting blinded by science.
Yes. No. Fuck off. We can allow people to make these excuses continually, or we can make them honor the contract they agreed. No. I see what you're trying to say now. No, you're right there. If you're saying pair bonding is bullshit, you're wrong. Pair bonding is a real thing. If you're saying that women can control their sexual hypergamy, yes, you're right. Women can absolutely, even after having 10 or 20 or 30, and I would never place my bet on a woman over 5. I'm serious. I hear the argument from older guys. Well, I want a woman that has as much sexual experience as me. Oh, good luck, you dumb fuck. Have fun with that fucking roller coaster ride. No, I would prefer a low body count, even if I was an older gentleman.
Well, maybe some people like Arby's.
Yeah. Arby's left in the dashboard in a catcher's mitt in the hot sun for 5 days. Sure, you can take a woman with a high body count, have fun with that. By the way, the cheese is dripping all over your dashboard. So good visual there. Hope you remember that one.
Fear the cheese.
The dick stacking test is a cardinal rule. You're absolutely right. If she's had so many dicks that she would fall out of a window and die, it's too many. Again, Tom, I am not against what you're saying from the perspective of that last chat there. She absolutely can control her hypergamous nature. She has the option to not act on monkey branching, emotional cheating, physical cheating, any of that. She has the option. I'm saying that if she's had more than 5 sexual partners, she's far less likely to give a shit. Okay? Scientifically speaking, of course. So we're all caught up. Panel, is there anything you'd like to not drop on the floor? Is there anything you'd like to add to this?
Well, since Crusader dropped off, I'm just going to point this out. It is possible for any sentient creature to override their biology.
Sure.
I'm 41 years old and never gotten past second base. That's because I chose a long time ago to not engage in midterm activities until after marriage. However, that being said, with the way the modern world is, I fully expect any woman I actually date to have more experience than I do. Does it bother me? Yes. But is there anything I can do to stop it?
Yes.
Unless I manage to find a woman right out of high school who has got a brain in her skull that has been used for, well, anything, then
except hitting the headboard, yes.
then no, there really aren't a lot of options that a guy like me actually has available to him.
Right.
Do I like it? No. Have I accepted it? Well, yeah, it's kind of like a cancer diagnosis. Yeah. You know you got it. You know you can't do anything about it aside from try various treatments and hope they don't kill you before the disease does.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I think in your case, specifically, you might be a little hard on yourself. And again, it might, I mean, you're setting a very high bar, and I assume that has something to do with your religious belief and background. I'm not discrediting it or discouraging it. I do understand how that's going to make it a lot harder for you, especially considering what I said earlier in making the sexual innuendos and conversations often and early. It's kind of hard to give a woman the tingles if you're never engaging with the tingle parts. But I mean, it's out there. I think you specifically, based on what I hear now, I would change my advice for you. Not that I'm an expert, and I will never claim to be one, but based on what you're telling me, if I were to date knowing that you are not engaging in any sexual activity or even foreplay or any of it before marriage, you would have to be very strict about where you're meeting these women. They would have to be very classical and traditional in their beliefs. They're not going to be online. They're not going to be at cosplay conventions. And I'm not saying this jokingly. It sounds more like you're going to find them in very spiritual, religious type church settings. You're going to find them, and I'm not joking. I know it's going to sound like I am, but Amish communities, women like that, traditional, very traditional. Modern women, Western women, that dream is dead. That dream is absolutely dead. It's not happening.
Well, there's a reason why Passport Bros is a phenomenon that's happening, and the barrier of entry is not very high.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be a rich man's game, but as long as you go to a place that you still gain a good income and your American dollar goes a long way in their country, because what is it? Middle East, Asia, they are far, 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 far more traditional from our observance of traditional than anywhere else in the West, minus those specific communities like the Amish that have that. But even now, with it, technology being so advanced, it's unavoidable for the young people of the Amish.
Which is sad. And there is something to be said. I can't really speak to the Passport Bro thing, as I am not getting a passport anytime soon. I'm still playing within the confines of the game around me and playing with the rules that I have. Maybe slightly using them to my advantage because I can see the other players' cards now. But still not great odds. Tom mentions in the chat here. Tom, I'm not tearing you a new asshole. I'm really not. Because I do agree with like 50% of what you're saying here. This is part of that. You can argue there is a legal contract and then there is a physical and psychological pair bond. I am saying we need to enforce a contract in the level of a biblical sense. This goes exactly back to what we're talking about. In the promiscuous, degenerate, collapsing Western civilizations, that's just not happening anymore. I wish that weren't the case, man. But the women have opened up Pandora's box. They're enjoying the promiscuity, the OnlyFans, the butthole pictures to millions of dudes for $4 a month. That's where we're at. And it sucks, and I don't disagree with you. I think if people went back to valuing their religious beliefs and traditions, I believe if they valued classical traditions and nuclear family, we'd be a lot better off. But as I told you, the older women don't give a fuck about the younger women and are willing to watch them drown and smile and wave as they're drowning. Oh, and they'll throw them an anchor instead of a life raft. So that's where we are, man. The women are certainly not helping each other make better choices. As a matter of fact, they're leading each other to the slaughter. So if we're talking about Western civilization, finding God and, going back to honoring the nuclear family, I got to tell you, you're going to have to find the needle in a needle stack, as Better Bachelor would put it. Because there's not much of it left in the States. And again, when we're talking about the pair bonding and the hypergamy and her moving on and it's just your turn, in Western civilizations, that's the truth. That's why I tell you guys not to emotionally invest in these women. If you're going to date them, fine, but that's about as far as you can go. It's just your turn. It's the same thing. You go to Elitch's or Estes or I don't know, Disney World or Universal, whatever. Pick one. You get on the ride, you have fun, it's a good time. Maybe you get a picture of yourself and you get off and you leave. That's modern dating in Western society. Maybe some rides last longer than others, but eventually all rides come to an end. Enjoy the ride while it lasts and accept that you're going to have to get off at some point and move the fuck on with your life. That's where we are. I hate to say it that way, but that sums up the entire video in my opinion. Tom Davis says he is a passport bro, so hopefully it is working out for you, sir. Let's see. Let me back up. God damn it. Let me back up a little bit more. At Tom Davis, I fully agree on that. However, 80% of women file for divorce, 90% if they're college educated, and get full custody 90 through 95% of the time. Thank you for the statistics, Jimmy. That is absolutely true. Jimmy says we need to have severe overhaul of the family court system if those are the statistics. No. The family court system, yes, what you're saying is true. I would rather see family court just thrown out completely. But I'm a limited government guy. I look at what our founding fathers set in place, and I consider family court to be an overreach. I consider the government being involved in the bedroom unconstitutional and unnecessary. There's no point to have a government contract for marriage.
To enforce contracts, which
marriage
is a contract.
There should it should be between you, your partner, and whatever God from whatever religion you choose. The state should not be enforcing any of that.
See, that's something that I think a lot of us can agree with you on, no matter whether your stance is a religious family basis or whether you're more along the lines of it's just you and this other person.
Yeah. I mean, look, if I'm going to go meet Bill, and me and Bill are going to discuss, I'm going to trade his 10 cows for, I don't know, I'm going to give him an acre or two of land. I don't know. There's where the government can get involved and say, okay, you're going to honor this contract. Otherwise, the force and threat of imposing certain laws, restrictions, and or penalties comes into play. Okay. I get the need for limited, very limited government. But when we decided to let the government into our bedroom, into our marriage, and now into our children's lives, we fucked up. That should have never been allowed. That was absolute shit on our part for allowing that lapse in judgment. Jimmy Bones says here, I would stand behind that red pill rhino. Thank you. Tom Davis, RPR, you are not bagging on me one bit, and I'm glad you are addressing this. Absolutely, sir. And thank you for being a good sport. I'm just trying to address everything critically the best I can. Let's see. Jimmy Bones, good luck finding a clean needle in that needle stack. I mean, there's a clean needle in there, but good luck, my dudes. He's not wrong.
More dirty needles than in Chicago.
Shit.
Oh, God.
Not a lie. Broken Pine at Jimmy Bones. 100% Pop is right. Family court laws are from the 1890s and should be destroyed. Let's see. Tom Davis, send me the link and I can fill you in on the real world according to me. Are you talking about joining the show? I can do that. We're pretty late. I'm looking at wrapping it up in the next few minutes, but we can always have you on in the future. We can have you on as a special guest for future content. If you would like to do that, actually, I think what would be best, instead of carrying this on into a longer video than necessary, email me at redpillrhino@hotmail.com. And I can have you on either independently or with a panel. We usually like to have the panel on if you don't mind. If you want to be on just one-on-one, we can do that too. Happy to arrange that. But let's do a show. Let's talk about it. We can talk about what you want to bring up, what you want to address, and we can title the show accordingly and do a live stream on it. Tom Davis says, RPR doesn't want to talk to me tonight. You son of a bitch. We're at 3 hours and 3 minutes, sir. I don't want to talk to anybody else tonight. Not even these guys. Fuck them too. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck
the sad thing is we're actually trying to be nice about this.
Mr. E Avatar in the Rumble chat. The church and state are to be separate. The government isn't supposed to be part of the ethereal realm. Abso-fucking-lutely. Let's see. last on MGTOW. Groovy again, 73. LOL, I have work in the AM. Going to bed. Good night, all. And on that solid note, I think we should get out of here and move on with our lives as well. Again, gentlemen, understand she will always devalue you. No matter how high value you are, it's going to happen. You can be perfect, and she's still going to find flaws. That's just female nature. More importantly,
because they're more like animals than people.
More importantly, she is not yours. It's just your turn. It would behoove you to keep that at the forefront of your mind in the frontal cortex at all times. And remember to enjoy the ride while you're on it. Know when to get off, and don't cry about it when the ride's over. You can buy tickets to more fun and exciting, newer and younger rides, okay? So enjoy life, worry about you, focus on you, make yourself your own mental point of origin at all times, and enjoy the compliments in your life when they come your way, aka women. But don't ever make them the fucking focus, or it's going to be a long, hard, fucking miserable life, and that's your choice too. But I would recommend not picking that choice. Okay, I'm going to take these guys off the panel, and what I will do from here is have a little after party. I don't know how long it'll be, but what I'm going to do is open it up to you guys. What you're going to see is an invite link in the chat. We'll throw that into YouTube. And if you want to be on a stream, save the good stuff for the show, not necessarily the after party, because it will not be recorded. It is not live. Chat is now on Rumble, YouTube, and MGTOW. So if you'd like to join the after party, you are more than welcome to do so. I will have you backstage until the show is no longer live, and we will talk there. You can talk to our panel one-on-one and shoot the shit, have some fun, and kick back and relax if you so desire. Otherwise, we will catch you sometime in the near future, usually Friday nights at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank you all for tuning in again. I want to thank you to our guests on the panel tonight for coming on. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I definitely enjoy the differing opinions on things. I think it makes for a healthy debate and a good show. So again, to those of you that are watching to the very end, thank you so much for your support. And on that note, if you'd like to help keep us independent from the evil clutches of YouTube, you can find links to donate in the description of the video in MGTOW, Rumble, and YouTube. You can also join us over on redpillrhino.com. It gives you links to join us on Rumble, MGTOW, Odyssey, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as Twitter, believe it or not. I do appear there once in a while to talk some shit, mostly to Amaranth because I can. And yeah, you can find us over there. But if you'd like to donate to the show, if you send us a Cash App or a PayPal donation, please allow me some time to check that. But I will read your donation comment online as well. That goes with emails as well. If you send me a donation and let me know you have an email story for me or something along those lines, I'm happy to read that on air. And yeah, again, you can find links to that in the description of these videos, or head on over to redpillrhino.com, where you can find all the channels, the merch store, and where to donate. Thank you again for being a part of Red Pill Rhino and these group of wonderful gentlemen that come on the panel. Always appreciated. All right, I think that is it. I've done all the homework, and I think we're ready to get out of here. So again, thank you all. I hope you have a great weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Don't drink and drive or any of that. You know Pop's outro. I don't have to do it for him. I wish you the best, and I will see you next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.
We are the arbiters of this society. After me, as a good citizen, we must maintain a neutral carbon footprint. Repeat. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat. Repeat after me. We must eat the bugs. Repeat.
This is a world that we create and manage. The people, they need to be controlled. We will give them truths, but only our truths. They are not to seek information anywhere else.
It is my job to keep order. So what you saw didn't happen. Erase everything.
You a grunt? I used to be one, and I was good at it.
I know. Things were simpler then. I have some questions.
You need to understand, we're being hunted.
By who?
Bring him to me.
This breaks the world.
Your story isn't over yet. There's still a page left.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different, man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro, don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming.
There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back.
Oh yeah, I'm still here for half a second. I want to point something out. Big thank you to those of you who listen to me and got the fuck off of YouTube. We did excellent tonight over on Rumble. 524 viewers at one point during the evening. MGTOW, we still have some work to do, but YouTube is slowly dying, and I like it. Less and less viewers on YouTube every week. So those of you that stuck around on Rumble tonight, thank you so much. You guys kick ass. If you haven't already gone to Rumble, you need to do that because YouTube sucks. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Catch you next.